Good snap, the hold, the kick is up, the kick is good!
Will be a swing by Kramer, kept alive by Jalbert. Lucas with the attack off the side of the block for the kill.
Cassette, he looks to go off guard, tucks back inside to the A gap, and he gets in for the touchdown.
Harrington, angle, off a touch, diving, Dunbar, holy cats, wow!
Starcevic in the shotgun, play action, looking for a man, has him down the field to his brother Starcevic for the touchdown. It's 31 yards. Jake.
Ulster Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
And a pleasant, good Saturday evening from Hope, or afternoon. The North Dakota 9-man football playoffs begin today for the Hankinson Pirates and the Maple River Raiders as the winner of this first-round matchup makes their way to top-ranked Lemoore Litchfield next weekend in the second round. Again, a good Saturday afternoon from Hope. I'm Chase Miller alongside Nathan Hoots on the sideline, and Brady Siebels is our on-site producer. And welcome to our Irie Insurance pregame show. Get the insurance protection you want with the customer service that you deserve at Irie Insurance. They cover it all. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote started today. Hankinson is 6-2 on the season and slotted as the number 3 seed from Region 1 following a 32-27 loss at Wymer-Lidgerwood last week. The Pirates beat Maple River back on October the 4th in Hankinson 33-12. For Maple River, 4 wins, 4 losses on the year. They earned the number 2 seed in Region 2 following a 36-20 win over Enderlin last week up in Hope. Here in Hope, Nathan Hoots, a couple of quarterbacks stand out when looking at the numbers. Rayshawn Earl and T-Sealing. Rayshawn Earl, he's close to potential record-breaking. 1 passing touchdown would tie him for Mason Falk for most passing touchdowns in a season for Hankinson. 2 would give him the outright advantage in the all-time school record there in a season. And T-Sealing, I mean, he's about 150-some yards away from 2,000 rushing yards on the season. So let's talk about those 2 first. If there's a marquee, it would say Earl and Sealing, or Sealing and Earl is the main show here this afternoon.
Yeah, if your live event did a little promo for the game, they would have, instead of the 2 logos, they would just have these 2 guys' headshots on each side. It's impressive. Both guys are true dual threat quarterbacks. Just getting to watch Earl the last time that we played them a couple weeks ago. Whenever he rolls out, he's just as much of a threat throwing the ball as he is running it. And then T-Sealing, they don't throw the ball a whole lot, but if they did, and we've seen it in the past, he's got a true cannon for an arm. So it's going to be quite the headline matchup between these 2 guys.
As we mentioned about Earl and Sealing, let's go over X Factor. We always talk about when you get to the playoffs, there's maybe someone that makes a play, someone has a really good game. Who's an X Factor for Maple River, and who might be an X Factor for the Hankinson Pirates here later this afternoon?
I think it's going to be the X Factor for Maple River is their entire defensive backfield. Anybody that's going to have to defend a pass, and they have rotated through guys all year long. They've had guys that have played, defensive line that are now playing DB. They've had guys that played linebacker that are now playing DB. They're going to have to defend guys vertically and horizontally all game long. So that is my X factor for the Raiders. And you look at the other side with the Pirates, it's 87 Andrew Jean. He was wide open all game long when they played 2 weeks ago in Hankinson. They ran a lot of crossing patterns, which is what you should do if you're going to play a team that's heavy man. And it seemed like there was a lot of miscommunication at the second level of the defense for the Raiders. If they can clean that up and try to defend him a little bit better, it should be a closer game than it was 2 weeks ago.
Lastly, Hoots, before we hear from the coaches, how does a familiar opponent from your position before as a head coach in football, you played a team like you said 2 weeks ago, how much does it benefit you, or how much did you maybe not put on film, keep a couple of, so to speak, formations or wrinkles in your back sleeve once you get ready for the second time around in a winner-take-all going to Lemoore next week?
It'd be interesting if you had a conversation off the record with either of these coaches. Did they show everything 2 weeks ago? Yes or no? That would be interesting. We saw, getting to watch the first couple of possessions of the Wymer-Lidgerwood Mayport game. Teams are going to come out and show something they haven't shown all year. And if that wrinkle is successful, Maple River needs to play from ahead in this game. That can be key. I think there's a lot more wrinkles available for Hankinson with their true dual threat offense, being able to throw the ball and run the ball. You're a little bit more limited if you're not unwilling to throw the ball if you're Maple River. So it's going to be quite the matchup.
Thank you very much, Hoot. Still to come on our Irie Insurance pregame show. We'll take a look at the 9-man playoff bracket. A host of games already in action. Keep you apprised of the 11-man bracket, or at least first-round matchups. We'll hear from the head coach of the Raiders, Larry Fontaine. But when we return from Hope. We'll be joined by Hankinson head coach, that's Jason Moneylaws. It's the Pirates and the Raiders in the North Dakota 9-man opening playoffs here on your LiveEvent.com.
There's a new inventory of trailers at Bloomfield Enterprises of Hillsboro. You can see the latest inventory online at BloomfieldTrailers.com. Bloomfield Enterprises has a full line of Big Tex trailers. Big Tex has affordable and versatile utility trailers for all your jobs. Big Tex has a full line of products from ATV trailers to gooseneck to dump trailers and more. Call Larry at 218-368-7989 or Tim at 701-430-0877. Bloomfield Enterprises in Hillsboro.
We offer the greatest broadband that anyone can subscribe to. And that's because of the infrastructure that we have been able to build over the last decade. You know, we're talking 10 gigabit per customer. That's the network we're building. There's days I think about what's the network going to be after I retire, where it continues to evolve. And if it evolves as much as what it has in the last 73 years, we can't even dream what it's going to be in the future.
As we continue on our pregame show here today, brought to you in part by Irie Insurance, it's the Hankinson Pirates and the Maple River Raiders in the opening round of the North Dakota 9-man football playoffs from Hope. And join us again, Jason Moneylaws here. And Jason, for you guys in the Hankinson Pirates, an awfully good season, 6-2, back-to-back years that you found yourself into the playoffs as well. So there is a core of this team that knows what to expect coming up here later today. Let's start there. How much can you have experience from prior year's team, 2-3-year guys that have had varsity experience, understand what playoff football is like? How valuable is that going into a road playoff matchup with a familiar opponent?
Well, yeah, sure. You know, for us, we're a unique situation. I'm gonna start with this first here, Chase. But you know, we're one of the few schools that's not co-op to 9-man football. You know, I think the number is that with the playoff makeup, there's 6 teams that aren't co-op, and so for us to get in the playoffs, it's actually a big deal, and so forth. And yeah, getting in last year, with the way the regions were then versus what they are now, it was a little bit more difficult to qualify because we had more teams per region, so to speak. This year, you know, with the playoff format and the activities with how they set the system up with more than 40 teams in 9-man, it's changed us all into these smaller regions. And with that, so now we had to play with a sister region, which was obviously the region to the north of us, which was mostly part of our region last year. So we were familiar with everybody for the base, you know, for basically everything. And we knew what we were going to have for competition wise. Okay. And playing them last year actually, I think, helped us somewhat to better understand offensively and defensively what these teams are going to run that were not in our region this year. So that right there, the familiarity with it, with the offenses and defense and stuff. But then, of course, changing of the athletes, you know, you graduate a group of seniors, and we did graduate a pretty good group of seniors last year. And now that the kids had that experience last year, coming into this year, I was a little skeptical because when we lose 5 seniors, that's a big number in 9-man football, and they all played. So I wasn't quite sure where we were going to be as a team. You know, I kind of picked this like around 4th in our region, and I think most of the coaches in the region did as well. And when you looked at our schedule, I'd had one game circled, and it was a Sargent County game. Thinking, okay, so within our region, we have to win, and absolutely have to probably win this game if we have any chance of getting into the playoffs. And I didn't know if we would have a team that could do that. The game that changed my, I guess my demeanor and my mindset on what we could do was the Mayport game. You know, they were ranked high in their region. Mayport usually has some pretty good athletes, physical, big kids, fast, and when they came down here and, you know, watching film on them, they beat Wyoming Ledua, and I'm like, oh boy, we're gonna have our hands full. And I tell you what, these boys really really rise to the moment that night, and we got a nice win, and that was huge for us as a team and coaches, because now we felt that, hey, you know what, maybe we can actually get this team into the playoffs. And so that was a big part of everything that was set in motion for us to get to where we are. And then the other big thing that occurred was over the summer. Hayden Bowl, who was a former Hankinson Pirate, he played at MSMU, and we hired him down here to be our elementary PE teacher and help coaching. And so we talked back and forth last year about doing something in the summer, and he came up with a plan, a workout plan, a conditioning plan, and so forth. And we ended up, Chase, with we had 18 kids on our roster, and we had 17 of those boys in all summer. Now, there was other kids too. There was junior high kids, there was girls that were part of the volleyball team and so forth, and kids that just aren't in sports that were working out too. And I really felt after our first practice in August that we have our first 5 days are 4-hour practices. We have breaks in between there, and they can be pretty grueling, and it's hot sometimes and so forth. But after that first practice, the coaches got together and these kids are ready to play. I mean, they're in shape physically and mentally and conditioning wise and so forth. So I think that also helped us, because, you know, we'll spend that first 5 days or so really drilling these kids to get them in shape and trying to, you know, get the mental part of, you know, how do I push myself when I'm tired and things like this. And it was there. So that was a big fact. Those were the big factors for us.
And as you alluded to, you know, your schedule, you take a look at it, the Lemoores, the Weimar Lidgerwoods, obviously that's always a rivalry game, throw records out the door. And you played Maple River as well, Mayport CG. You played a lot of playoff teams, at least in Region 1 and Region 2 here, Money. So as you take a look at the game just a few weeks ago against Maple River, I think a lot of folks said this could be a rematch potentially a couple weeks down the road, barring what the outcomes were the last 2 weeks. How much can you take it from that game, or what, I guess, did you do well that you want to replicate might be the better question here later today?
Well, okay, so Larry has a nice team, no doubt about it. And we played these guys sporadically over the years, and it's a run-based offense. I mean, it's, you know, it'll bore you to death, but you know what? That's my kind of football. I'm a firm believer that if you want to win football, especially in the playoffs, you have to run the ball, period. In my experience of teams going into the playoffs and moving through the playoffs, ball control is big. I mean, it's a huge factor in the game. Yeah, you can have a quick scoring offense and do this and that, but how much time are you going to have to get to do that if you can control the clock? And that's one thing that Larry has done well with his group up there, is they control the clock well. They can run that clock. They take their time. They're not in any kind of urgency mode, so to speak. You know, it's not like, oh God, we got to hurry up. And they don't have a 2-minute no huddle offense. It's just call the play and go. Call the play and go. Use all 30 seconds of that clock. Just eat it. And that's a recipe for success. Now, for us, obviously, we have to try and stop that. And last time they were down here 2 weeks ago, you know, it was a ceiling show. You know, he had a heck of a game. He's a big, strong kid, and he's very, very dangerous if you don't have that first contact and tackle him, because he's so gifted on cutting back on these angles. And that's where he makes his hay. He'll go wide, or he'll slide into into a power, and boom, to the next thing you know, he bounces it out, and then he cuts back across the grain, and he might cut back again. And he's hard to bring down. Obviously, that's one of our number one focuses. Now, I know Bosch has been hampered with his ankle the last game here against Enderlin, but if he's healthy and he's playing well, he adds that speed dynamic, that quick hit. I mean, he's a fast kid. If you're running that speed op to the outside, and you know, we crash down on Silling. Well, if we don't have someone on Bosch, we're in trouble, because he has the speed to go the whole way. And then you throw the Dow's kid in. You know, when they're in that wishbone. And if they got Bosch and Dow's both back there, you know, that's a pretty powerful power running setup that Larry has. So we really need to key on not falling asleep on defense. You know, we don't want them to just bore us to death so that we're not focusing. Oh, gee, well, and then he releases a tight end kind of a deal. So we've been really preaching that the last 2 days is that, hey, they're going to bore us to death on defense, but we got to be alert and know what we're doing when we see these different formations, what our fits are and so forth, so that we're ready to at least try to be successful with what we want to do.
My final thing for you here, Jason, is when you take a look at your team this season, the 2024 Hankinson Pirates, what's a trait or characteristic from August, which you kind of maybe already alluded to about, you know, being in shape, being ready day one, but throughout the course of 8 games to where you are right now, what's a trait or characteristic that maybe best describes this year's version of Pirate football?
I think the camaraderie amongst the boys. You know, small schools, you got to rely on freshmen through seniors often and without a co-op. And so we, Hankinson, you know, down here, these kids are always hanging out together. Whether it's football season, basketball season, whatever is going on, it's a core group of guys, always hanging out. You know, they go to games together. They're very tight, and it's not like, well, the seniors don't like the freshmen, so we don't want the freshmen there, kind of a deal. And I'm pretty sure that's the way it is in a lot of these smaller schools. But that relationship they have with each other, and obviously, a lot of them did play with that group of seniors last year too, which I mentioned earlier. So I think that camaraderie and that connection they have and the trust, you know, that's a big thing because, you know, we've got a pretty good dynamic quarterback back there, and we put a lot of trust in Ray and what we do with our offense and so forth. So with him there, you know, he's a good leader out there as well. And you got Andrew Jean, who's also a senior here for us, and he's one of our big leaders too. So they've done a good job about not pointing fingers and bickering and things like that. They kind of meld together and just that thought of, hey, you know what, if we play our game, we can be in any game. And that's what those kids are like.
Coach Moneylots, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck here against Coach Fontaine and the Maple River Raiders coming up later tonight from Hope.
I appreciate it. It should be a good game. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
And again, Coach Jason Moneylots from Hankinson will continue after this on our pregame show.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need someone who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country.
We love our pets, accidents and messes included. Shaw Floor's Pet Perfect Carpet helps you love confidently with protection from everyday messes and odors. Designed with the whole family in mind, Pet Perfect features built-in protection from staining, fading, and pet hair. Make tails wag with Shaw Floor's Pet Perfect. Designed for you, perfect for your pet.
Available at Carpet World, 17th Avenue South, online at carpetworldfargo.com.
As we continue on our pregame show here today, ahead of the opening kickoff between the Maple River Raiders and the Hankinson Pirates in the opening round of the 9-man football playoffs from Hope. Joining us now is the head coach for the Raiders, that is Larry Fontaine. And Larry, before we talk about the second time around with the Hankinson Pirates here this season, let's just recap what you like most about your team last week against the Enderlin Eagles in a win, and you're in, you know, a playoff situation that you hope to carry over to tonight's to this afternoon's football game against the Hankinson Pirates. Larry.
Hey, Chase, how are you today?
Doing well, thanks, Coach.
All right, hey, we played well. They threw the ball 47 times. Our pass defense was, you know, pretty good for the most part. It's getting a lot better. We didn't mind that they threw the ball a lot because we need work, and that's the best way to get the work is have them throw the ball. We held them, you know, in check for the most part. They had 1 yard rushing. They only ran the ball, I think, 9 times, and they got 1 yard. Gruba is a very, very good football player. He got 12 catches, but pretty much kept them in check. I mean, a lot of short routes he caught, but no, yeah, it was good. T had a big game. Preston had a big game. We ran the ball, did some things good. Gave up another onside kick. I didn't like that, but we spent a lot of time this week working on that again and again and again. So I don't think that'll happen this week, but took some kids off, put some new kids on, and gonna see where we go from there.
Taking a look at Hankinson, and I'm going to ask, I asked Jason Moneylaws the same question. How much can you take from a game a couple of weeks ago that you played where you knew there might be a chance that you might see each other, later in the playoffs? So how much did you show? How much did you kind of, so to speak, give, Larry? How much can you take away from that game the first time around here in this, playoff matchup the second time with Hankinson?
Yeah, we are kind of one-dimensional. We run the ball a lot. We're gonna try some different things, some different offenses, formations this week. We're gonna throw the ball a little more. Uh, they run a 3-3, cover 3, so we think there's gonna be some moments where we'll be able to get the short pass off, get the pass off to our running backs a little bit. Carter Bosch is gonna try play. Got a boot for him, and he's gonna try play, and we'll see how long he can. He's a warrior. He wants to, finish his football season strong, his football career. So we're gonna let him play and see how long he can go, and he gives us an added dimension. He's just a great football player. It's really unfortunate that he's had such a tough year injury-wise, but him back will give us an added dimension. If not, decoy. I mean, we'll use him, and it'll be fun.
You kind of take a look at Hankinson on the opposite side. I know a lot of folks want to speak about Rayshawn Earl, and rightfully so with the playmaker that he is. I know they got a decent tight end too with Mr. Gene there. So when you see Hankinson, what's going to be a challenge just against the Pirates coming up here later today here, Larry?
Well, we're working on, a defense that'll stop that option. And Rayshawn is a decent athlete, pretty good running back, quarterback slash. 87 is good. The tight end 10 is a pretty good running back. So we got a plan in store to put some pressure on Rayshawn and keep him in the pocket. And we're going to try and limit what we can, limit the damage from him, I guess.
When you go to playoff football here, Larry, outside of the obvious of you win, you advance, you lose, your season is done, what do you enjoy most about playoff football here?
Just the opportunity to extend the season and give the kids a chance to keep the season going, and we want to get to the dome, and that's what we started the season for. I mean, why else are we playing? We want to get to the dome, and that's our goal. And just anything can happen. I mean, it's a game.
You kind of take a look at this one too, third year of this co-op between the Raiders here with the school districts respectively for football. 2 of the 3 years you found a way to make a postseason game. 2 of the 3 years you're hosting a game in Hope as well. So what does it mean to, at least bare minimum get one more game here in Hope for a playoff game?
Well, it means everything. It gives validation to our program and to the co-op. We've had a pretty successful 3 years. 2 years in the playoffs. Last year we just missed by a game. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Why we're there? The communities love it. They get behind the kids. Football's a tough game. Those kids really work hard, and their families are behind it. The communities are behind it. It's a big deal for the schools.
Final thing for me, Larry, what's the one thing the Raiders have to do well against Hankinson coming up here to find a way to get to Lemoore next week in the second round of the 9-man playoffs?
We got to score when we get in the red zone. We're working on today. It's really windy out, but we're going to go out there and work on 2-point conversions and work on scoring in the end zone, scoring in the red zone. I know when we played them up there 2 weeks ago, we left a lot of points on the board, and they actually turned the ball over more than we did. We just didn't capitalize on it, and they had a couple big plays. The Earl's going to get his plays, but if we can limit his damage and score when we get down, then I think we can win.
Hey, Larry, as always, I very much appreciate the time and best of luck here against the Pirates later today.
All right, Chase. I'll see you tonight at the volleyball game. Have a great day.
That again, Larry Fontaine, head football coach for the Raiders, will continue after this on our Irie Insurance pregame show.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and alongside Brady Siebels with you here today ahead of the opening kickoff. Hankinson won the toss and elected to defer. Maple River will have the football first here offensively. Also going on today here on YourLiveEvent.com, the Mayport CG Patriots and the Wymer Lidgerwood Warbirds down in Wymer. Joel Ansello and James Martin's on the call for you on that one here on Your Live Event. 50 seconds remaining in the opening half. Mayport CG 22, Wymer Lidgerwood 12. Between the Patriots and the Warbirds. That does it for our pregame show, brought to you in part by Irie Insurance. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote started today. When we come back, we'll get to our starting lineups and the opening kick. It's the opening round of the North Dakota 9-man football playoffs here in Hope on YourLiveEvent.com.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
At Polar Communications, innovation is in our DNA. We're pioneers, always looking ahead to what's next to ensure our communities thrive. We were the first in the state to offer gig services, and we didn't stop there. We continue to lead the way in delivering high-quality, reliable technology to your doorstep. A better experience starts here.
It's now time for our starting lineups, brought to you in part by American Crystal Sugar Company. Live the sweet life with great careers, quality products. Go to crystalsugar.com. Again, that is crystalsugar.com. Chase Miller alongside Nathan Hoots and Brady Siebels here as the Hankinson Pirates will be right underneath us. We got a bird's eye view for the starting lineups here for the Hankinson Pirates. They again won the toss, elected to defer, so we'll go like this defensively. Dylan Zahn at a defensive line spot, the 6'1 senior. Here for the Hankinson Pirates, that's Maple River. Hankinson will go with Mason Malk, a junior defensive lineman, Trevor Furch, a sophomore defensive lineman, and Andrew Jean, a senior. At the linebacker spot, you have Cade Hentz with 11 tackles for losses for the sophomore. Cale Benson, the senior linebacker, with Parker Falk here, receptions on the season for the Hankinson Pirates. They're averaging 38 points per game defensively, giving up 21. Head coach by Jason Moneylaws with a mark of 6 wins and 2 losses on the season. As we turn our attention now to the Maple River Raiders here offensively, quarterback T. Silling, the 6'3 senior at 200 pounds with over 1,800 yards rushing and 28 rushing touchdowns on the season. Also starting here today, Carter Bosch in the backfield with Preston Downs and Brennan Anderson. Tight ends of Jonah Thompson and Kobe Weshnewski. Then you got a guards of Gabe Bernston, Owen Tickey, and the center is Dylan Zahn. Maple River on the season averaging 32 points per game, defensively giving up 28. The Maple River Raiders, the 2 seed out of Region 2, 4-4 on the season. Hankinson, the 3 seed out of Region 1, again 6-2 and 2-2 in Region 1. Last thing here for Nathan Hoots before we get to kickoff. Hoots, the biggest key in this game, the second time around for the Raiders and the Pirates, is what?
I think the Raiders need to play from ahead. They need to score early. They got lucky, and they're going to get the ball to start. They're going to have to be able to throw the ball on occasion tonight. Coach Monolos talked about it in his pregame interview that, they got to sell out to stop the run, but they also have to be disciplined to make sure they don't sneak a tight end out. They have got to be willing. They got to show early that they're willing to throw the ball. Do they have to complete it right away? No, but they got to be willing to throw the ball to keep them honest.
That again is our starting lineups, brought to you in part by American Crystal Sugar Company. Back after this with the opening kick in Hope.
Let the geeks at GK Technology help you with your agricultural data. Their agronomists know agriculture. When it comes to creating soils and zone maps to maximize yields in your fields, you can trust the people with decades of experience in site-specific agriculture. Everyone at GK Technology has a background in agriculture, so they know what makes a farm run, and they speak your language. The geeks at GK Technology have a map and an app for that.
There's more at 104. Hillsboro, North Dakota has everything you need on your next road trip. Food, fuel, fun, and family-friendly activities. Stop by and fill up your tank or grab a bite to eat. Have a blast at Goose River Golf Club, the swimming pool, or one of our beautiful parks. There's even ice skating and cross-country skiing. Take in the sights or stay the night so you don't miss a thing. Experience Hillsboro and see why there's more at 104.
High school football here today on YourLiveEvent.com. Chase Miller alongside Nathan Hoots and Brady Siebels. Carter Bosch and T. Silling back here for the first time this season for those two respectively. And on the opposite side for the Hankinson Pirates, Nathan Hoots and I were very impressed with Blado putting this one on the tee, particularly Hoots from a point after attempt, which we don't talk about much in 9-band, but more so from a field goal standpoint, which is a very big weapon. He handles the punts and the kicks, and he had himself a good warm-up, and you were impressed with him down in Hankinson.
Yeah, I could definitely see this ball go over the top of the head there, lined up just inside of their 20 with the wind. Not a ton of wind, but the way he kicks it with a little wind behind him, there's a good chance he can kick it over their heads here.
As Blado will put this one on the tee, opening kick here at 2:01. It's a line drive kick picked up by Martin at the 30-yard line. Then Martin's going to run into a stiff wall to about the 42-yard line here, and that's where we'll start it off for the Maple River Raiders.
Yeah, probably a good idea to not kick it to Bosch or Silling on the first, possession of the game. Just let them get that, decent field position of 37-yard line, and maybe one of those guys puts the ball on the ground.
As the Hankinson Pirates here defensively will come out against this Maple River offense here today on YourLiveEvent.com. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Brady Siebels with you here. The winner of this contest goes and plays number 1, Lemoore Litchfield Marion in Lemoore, upcoming a week from today. Opening kick just after the 2 o'clock hour. We'll get to the field conditions in a moment. Overcast skies will be upper 50s, low 60s if it gets to that point here today. As T. Silling, little read option here, going to go to the outside with a stiff arm. Silling makes his way to midfield, and T. Silling rolls to nearly a first down. They'll give it to him for a gain of 10.
There's some nerve-wracking moments right before the snap. Before they even got into the huddle, they were already at 10 seconds from the back judge, so a little miscommunication to begin, but hey, good start to the game if you're a Raider fan.
Hoots, what's the field conditions like down there with the wind a little bit here? Is it crossing wind, or is it more in your face, depending on what side of the football field
I think the Raiders are pretty much going directly into it right now. It's maybe a tad off of our sideline into you. I don't know if you feel it up there, but field conditions are perfect. Got a little bit of rain yesterday to help green things up.
It doesn't feel like the Titanic, but it feels a little windy up here. But all things considered, it's been good field conditions and good weather here in Hope all season. Silling will keep this one. Silling gets the 40, and Silling plows over a Hankinson Pirate defender named Rayshawn Earl. Quarterback against quarterback there, and Silling making his way for a healthy gain of 13 yards.
It was a very safety first tackle there by Rayshawn. He just was not going to get run over. He kind of just grabbed onto his shoulder shoulder pads and, let him take him for a ride and make sure he takes him down. But, hey, that was nice to see. If you're a Raider fan, Bosch was able to keep a good pitch relationship with Silling, who's a good runner. That speed option element, he kept one guy to the outside that allowed him to cut up and get big-time yardage.
Earlier this season, Hankinson won on October the 4th against the Raiders in Hankinson, 33-12. We'll see what happens the second time around here. Silling in the shotgun. This will go on a handoff on a little sweep there to Dow's. Dow's looking for a block, gets past the 30-yard line, but there does come a flag to the 28, barring the penalty. Typically where this is would be a potential holding, and we'll see the white hat Chris Larson for the first time today, and that'll be a holding on the Raiders.
To see who he had it on. That was a really late flag coming in.
Chris Larson, the referee, the umpire Ryan Weber. You have Cam Anderson, the head linesman. Jacob Schlecht is the line judge, and Nick Nelson is the back judge here today. And all of a sudden, you take a couple of really good offensive plays here for Maple River to make it now about a 1st and 20 upcoming. And this is a chance, Hooch, that we allude to. Offense and defense, here's a chance for the Pirates to try to get off the football field with the Raiders having a 1st and 20.
Yeah, and the way they've run the ball here, you'd probably just run it again, try to get 6 or 7 yards, get yourself into a chance to have 3 downs to get 13 or 14 yards.
Shotgun formation, Bosch to the right near sideline is Anderson. Dow's in the backfield with Silling. Little read option here, and they able to get to the boundary. T. Silling makes his way to the 30, and T. Silling gets to the 27-yard line. Wrapped up and tackled by Parker Falk, but not before 17 yards on the rush for T.
Now would be an excellent time to take a little bit of a chance. You got 2nd and 3. Maybe try to sneak someone out. He's ran the ball every time except for the one give to Dow's. Might not be a terrible idea to try a little play action, take a chance.
And the one thing, if you're at Hankinson, you got a really good defensive back here in Rayshon Earl who can cover some distance, who's with 6 interceptions. But the one thing that Coach Jason Moneylaw said in our pregame show, Maple River's going to bore you to death, and he meant that in a nice way because it's run after run after run.
Yeah, eye discipline is extremely important for all of these DBs right here. You can't get caught peeking at number 9 in the backfield.
4 down linemen here for Hankinson. T. Silling will handle it to the right-hand side, and there's a good pursuit by Hankinson. Cade Hintz was part of it, Parker Falk, as well as Silling gets back to the original line.
There was some good defensive line pressure and good fills that, if you're able to absorb all of those offensive linemen and not let them get to the second level, you can get those initial contact that's pushing them backwards rather than him running you over in the second level.
High school football here today in Hope. It's North Dakota 9-man playoffs, and I say this nicely, is about the worst weather we've almost had all season. I don't think you're getting a suntan in today, Hoots, on the sideline like sometimes you've been up.
I was looking forward to it, but now I got a little cloud cover. I don't have a whole lot of exposed skin, though. I'm not a big fan of cold weather.
3rd down upcoming here as the Maple River Raiders will come out in a tight formation. You have Anderson at the fullback, Bosch dotting the I. Pitch play goes out to Bosch on a sweep, trying to cut back in. Bosch makes a man miss, and Carter made a man miss in space in Hernandez. That allowed him to get the 1st down to the 22-yard line.
He cut off his bad ankle there, and you can tell he's already hobbling, but, that was a big-time 1st down. He saw the gap, attacked it, 8 weeks ago in the first game of the year against Sargent County. He probably would have tried to stretch that all the way to the sideline using his speed. I think he understood his limitations. Now take that 5 yards, get the 1st down, move the chains, move on.
And here's the bend but don't break. If you're Hankinson, sure, you're willing to give up yards, but if you can make a stand here, that's what you want. If you're the Raiders, Coach Fontaine talked about it, red zone and 2-point conversions being a big key in this game. The Raiders knocking on the door, 1st down. Here's a end around. Eventually, this one will go to Preston Dow's, and Dow's does get a healthy gain of about 4 to 5 yards, but good job staying home by Hernandez on the outside for the Pirates.
I think that is, they've ran that play 4 or 5 times all year and all on 2-point conversion. So it was nice to see them do a little misdirection there inside of the field of play and not necessarily on a 2-point conversion. Bosch definitely wasn't going to be running the ball on that play right after getting that hit.
So far, 4 minutes have gone off the clock here for Maple River. The drive started back at their own 42-yard line as the Raiders will have trips to the far side. One to the near sideline. Here's a 6-foot tight end in Weshnevsky. Shotgun formation here for Silling as they're spreading out to Pirates defense. Silling 2nd and 5. QB keeper, a little bit of a delayed draw. Silling gets to the 10, Silling to the 5, and Silling gets taken down there. 1st and goal.
Yeah, I could see them going to that formation. They had a real nice box count there, with an extra runner because of extra number in the run game with your quarterback. It was 5-on-4 before the ball was even snapped, and you have to take advantage of that because you got to feel like Silling outnumbers them just by himself. But if you have a 5-man advantage or a 1-man advantage 5-on-4, you got to do it all game long.
7 rushes for 63 yards, 53 of them coming by T. Silling so far in this opening drive for the Raiders as they're knocking on the door here against its Pirates defense. As they will go into a tight formation, shotgun here for Silling. Bosch lining up to the left-hand side of him. The Pirates with 3 down linemen, 5 at the line. Silling bounces left-handed side. T. Silling keeps the pile going. Silling looking for a little push by Bosch. Is he in? Yes, sir! It's a rushing touchdown from 4 yards out, and Silling hits pay dirt for the 29th rushing touchdown of the season.
I love the patience there. It wasn't just a patient run by Silling. It was, a patient. They allowed the blocks to get to the outside, and then they just allowed his eyes to find that one little gap. Found a gap at about the 3-yard line, and then just let his leg strength take over.
Well, here's going to be the chess match as this game goes. If you're going to allow Silling to get those kind of yardage, how many more men do you put up front on the line for
All of them.
Hankinson?
All of them.
Who says
all of them?
Don't talk
no
about
safety needed.
The X's and O's of the game. Just bring everybody up
Everybody
at the line.
up.
As now they will go shotgun formation here for Silling. As you alluded to, Hoots, it's a numbers game
now
here.
It's
once
5-on-5 though.
And we'll have a delay of game here on Maple River. So for the Raiders, though, Hoots, they do take that holding penalty at 1st and 20. That 17-yard rush by Silling was large to make it that 2nd and 3, and eventually got them in the end zone.
Yeah, so what they did here, they gave that exact same formation. This time it was 2-by-2 instead of 3-by-1. When you're playing at the 3-yard line, you can slide that safety up, playing more as a box linebacker. Then your number count's not quite the number that you're looking for. But they have a lot of opportunities. If your outside receivers block well, you can get something to the outside here. You got a little more room now to play with.
On our City of Hope scoreboard, work and play in Hope, North Dakota. From job listings and housing options, you can search HopeND.com. That's HopeND.com. Little play read option here. Silling has the crease, gets a good block from the outside, and he walks into the end zone. Bernstein opens up a lane, and Silling walks in for 2. On the City of Hope scoreboard, it reads Maple River 8, Hankinson scoreless. Pirates with a chance of the ball for the first time when we return.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
On our City of Hope scoreboard, again, work and play in Hope, North Dakota. Go to HopeND.com. A drive that started at their own 42-yard line takes 5 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock. It was 8 plays, capped off by a Silling 5-yard rushing touchdown. Then Silling with a 2-pointer as well on the rush to make it 8-0. Opening offensive and thoughts for the Raiders here, Nathan Hoots.
Yeah, they really did. They didn't necessarily control the line of scrimmage, but they just kind of, neutralized each other. And that's kind of all you need when you have Silling running the football. If you can just neutralize the front 7 or front 6 of the Pirates, you have a good chance.
McCullough, this one was not intended to be, so to speak, an onside kick, but it almost ended up being one. But good job by Griffin Bull as the up man, Hoots, waiting for that football to come right to him at midfield and get on top of it here for Hankinson.
Yeah, when you now have 8 games of film and you see a kicker that, sometimes he'll punch it all the way down to the 20, but it's more often than not, he's barely getting it past that first line of guys. They've probably had the ball drilled at him all week long.
As for it's the first time here for the Hankinson Pirates, Rayshawn Earl needs 1 passing touchdown to tie Mason Falk for the most in a season as a quarterback with 21. 2 of them would set the new school record here in a season for Rayshawn Earl. We'll get to the rest of the starters after this. Here's a handoff by Hernandez, and Hernandez able to get a couple of yards into Raider territory. They will make it at the 49-yard line for a gain of 3.
There was that a safety I saw on defense?
There is a safety. Talking with Larry Fontaine, he said they're going to switch things up a little bit here with a free high safety to try to keep Andrew Jean, as you alluded to, Hoots, as much in front of him throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, I like that because it got a little frustrating to watch if you're a Raider fan, just 2 weeks ago seeing guys run wide open. That, just having 12 over the top definitely frees you up. If you have linebackers like 2 and 9 in the middle, they can clean things up.
After the 3-yard rush, they'll have a motion man to the outside. Rayshawn Earl weaving to the outside as they roll the pocket. Good connection as that one is able to go to Parker Falk. You're going to see a handful of different players here throughout the course of the game in different spots depending on the formation. It's about a gain of 5 and makes it 3rd down and manageable.
I like that little motion, just, move the slot to the outside, just create a little outside leverage for that receiver to be able to get, run that real quick out. And when you got a quarterback and throw it like Earl does, that just a little bit of separation is all you need for him to find that gap.
Mason Malk is the center with guards of Trevor Furch and Benson. Tight ends of Gunnar Ilg and Andrew Jean. Blado and Hintz will be with Ben Athey and Parker Falk at different spots throughout the course of the game at wide receiver and at running back as well. And there goes Hintz for a healthy gain for a 1st down here for a gain of 4.
That was inches away from a tackle for loss by Burnson in the backfield there, but he was able to just keep his feet and get those couple extra steps to get that 1st down.
As for defense for Maple River, Jonah Thompson, Owen Ticky, and Dylan Zahn on defense. Linebackers of Silling, Anderson, and Martin, and then defensive backs of Wisniewski, Warren, and Preston Dowes here this afternoon for Larry Fontaine and the Maple River Raiders. Hankinson Pirates first offensive possession, the first possession with the 1st down as they keep the chains moving here with the junior quarterback Rayshawn Earl. Play action, Earl rolling near sideline, pops, fires, throws. This one to Jean is going to be incomplete, having to fight the sun. Then maybe just tripped over his own legs. That'll be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I think whoever takes care of this field would appreciate if he'd fix his divot right there. Looks like he was open and just one foot didn't quite agree with the turf there, and he's kind of hobbling on his way back there.
Andrew Jean, again, a big target here this season for Coach Jason Moneylaws and the Hankinson Pirates. Back-to-back years for Hankinson to make the playoffs. Last year went 5-5, lost to New Rockford Cheyenne in the opening round. Looking for their first playoff win since 2017 here for Hankinson. As they go 2nd and 10, they do have a motion. We do have a flag, however, and this will be the first penalty on the Hankinson Pirates.
Give them a chance to back them up a little bit and create some extra yardage for them to have to make up.
And I was going to say, here's the cat and mouse game, right? So what does a safety in 9-man football do compared to what Larry Fontaine normally does? No safety with man across the board.
Yeah, it frees it's a freeing feeling for your corners knowing that I don't have to be perfect. And it allows you to also, you can play cover 3 and man and make one look like the other. If you don't have a safety over the top, the quarterback knows it's cover 0 every single play.
2nd and 15, Rayshawn Earl, 3-man rush. Earl steps up, fires, throws, going down the field, has a man. Blado caught at the 5, end zone, touchdown. Rayshawn Earl with a 45-yard connection to the senior Blado, and the Pirates are back within 2.
What a dime there that was by Earl. That was beautifully done. A couple guys just had their eyes in the wrong spot as DBs, and I think a couple were looking at each other thinking, you got it, no, I got it, and then by that time you're already beat.
And able to play a little bit of the wind as well on that one, as we just alluded to, Hoots, as a safety, you don't want to leave things behind you, but Rayshawn Earl moved the pocket a little bit, and they go right up the seam there with Blado.
Yeah, we always preach deeper than the deepest. If you're playing any type of cover 1, cover 2, cover 4, it doesn't matter. Deeper than the deepest.
As they will come out when the shotgun 2-point conversion. Earl, little play action, looking for Jean in the flat. He's wide open, caught for 2. Oh, it's all offense early on here in the opening half as the Pirates have tied this puppy up at 8 on the City of Hope scoreboard here in Hope.
Lakes Community Co-op delivers more than just propane into a tank. They deliver a commitment to customer safety with professional, knowledgeable service. Lakes Community Co-op propane customers can relax because having a monitored tank allows Lakes Community Co-op to know tank levels and therefore make timely deliveries. This takes away all your worries. Call 1-888-935-2281 for propane from Lakes Community Co-op. For more information, visit lakescommunitycoop.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
High school football here today on yourliveevent.com. The Hankinson Pirates able to go 52 yards a minute and 31 seconds comes off the clock. 5 plays for the score here for the Hankinson Pirates as Blado will put this one on the tee after that 45-yard receiving touchdown. It's going to be a little short kick to Martin again. Martin will handle it at the 40-yard line. Martin then will take it to the 43, and so far 3 possessions here, Hoots. The Raiders at their 42, now about at the 42 again, and Hankinson at the 48. That's great offensive starting field position.
Absolutely it is, yes. That's why you never take the 35-yard line when the ball's kicked out of bounds, am I right? No, it'd be nice to see Martin just take the ball and get north and south as quickly as possible. He was dancing around, got into the middle of the field. Just get all the yards you can. If you're not the deep man, your job is to get as many yards as you can and get down without losing possession of the football.
So far it's been all offense here in this opening quarter. We'll see what happens as this one continues here on yourliveevent.com. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, Brady Siebels with you here today. After this play, we'll take a look at some of the scores going on across the state of North Dakota. Silling handles this one off. This goes to Anderson. Anderson plows his way for about a gain of 4 to 5 yards. Good tackle by Parker Falk. Mayport CG started the third quarter 24-12 over Weimar Lidgewood. Mohall Lansford Sherwood 14-2 over Tioga at the half. Cavalier all over Four Winds at the half 30-6. North Prairie leads Nelson County in the first quarter 6-0. Alexander, Kemmer, Bull Bells, Burke Central tied at 8, and Central McLean and Beach. It's Central McLean with a 8-0 lead in the first quarter. Feel like the NFL red zone after going through those high school football scores here today. Shotgun formation, little orbit motion here for Bosch. It's now an option play, but Silling's going to keep it past the 45 into Hankinson territory as it gets taken out of bounds at the 40. And so far here, Hoots, if this is going to continue, it's going to be which defense is going to step up first.
Exactly right. There looked like there was a lot of indecision, a lot of guys sliding sideways with that motion along with Silling rolling out to the right, and nobody wanted to just attack the quarterback. They were so worried about the pitch man as well. It's a nice combination. If Bosch can just stay on the field, he adds another element that they have not had all year long.
Right now, Silling with 1,907 yards rushing on the season and 29 touchdowns here so far, as Silling will come out in the I formation, a tight formation here. Hankinson, four-men at the line. This one is going to end up going to Dow's. Dow's coming across, and almost kind of like the old wing T play. Hoots, you fake it one way, you come around the other, and Dow's all of a sudden gets a nice gain of 7.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. When you play a team 2 weeks ago, that play has not been, they haven't ran that all year. Just a simple little, I just call it an H-back counter, just a simple little, almost end around, but you're looking for the first gap that you find. Something they haven't shown all year, little wrinkle, now you got second and short.
Second down upcoming, and for Maple River, it's been run, and by the way, more run here today and throughout the season. One wide receiver near and one to the right-handed side as the Hankinson Pirates put 6 men and almost 7 in the box with Rayshawn Earl. Here comes Silling. Silling's going to get tackled in the backfield. Good job by Trevor Furch for a tackle for loss.
I just kind of ran into his guy there and just slowed down that initial momentum that he had built up. And unfortunately, if your guy is going to assist the defense in taking you down, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of yardage.
Yeah, good job by Trevor Furch. And here's the thing from the first possession to the second possession here, Hoots. We're seeing Hankinson at a little bit defensive ends, trying to keep, if you want to say, the cup a little bit in front, not allow Silling or whoever to get to the outside. And I think Rayshawn playing a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage as well.
Yeah, he's definitely slid up a couple yards here, just almost getting into that box that you get into that number count. And now it's definitely not advantageous.
3rd down and 3 upcoming here as they run the far side on a little bobsled play for Silling. Bosch gets the block, and Silling gets the first down to about the 29. Good pursuit by Hankinson, but Silling still gets 4 for a first down.
It wasn't necessarily a block by Bosch. It was more like a screen that you're going to see him set here in a couple months on the court. But all you got to do is get in between your man and the ball carrier, and he did just that, and it freed him up just to get that first down.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Hankinson Pirates can do on the basketball court this season as well. Obviously, with Rayshawn Earl on one side, he got Silling on the other. That's going to be a lot of fun to see those two teams who play coming up here in District 1 boys basketball.
Yeah, Rayshawn came and they played in the Raider Dome last year. He was a lot of fun to watch. He plays a very similar style to what you see on national TV in the NBA.
Rayshawn Earl squats 395 pounds.
Is that good?
Moneyloss was telling me as a junior. First down and 10 upcoming. Shotgun formation. Silling will keep it to the boundary here, and Silling gets through a crease. Look at Silling go. T, 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. It's a 29-yard rushing score for Silling, his second of the game.
Yeah, that was an excellent, good play call. That was a great blocking by the offensive line, created a big seam for him, and then he just needed to make one play, and he did just that.
T. Silling, 10 carries, 99 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns here. Nathan Hoots, I'm going to allow you to have some time. Brady Siebels and I were talking about this beforehand because the Raiders and the Pirates logo look similar.
Yeah.
What's the difference between
Ours
a
is
Pirate
better.
and a Raider here? And you're saying ours because, again, you're with Maple Valley, so you can be a little biased on the broadcast. But my question is, what's the definition between a Pirate and alongside a Raider? What's the difference?
You know, you didn't prepare me for this question,
Here
so
we go.
I can't answer.
2-point conversion as Silling's going to come under center. Was waiting for the center and Dylan Zahn to try to hike the football, but then that'll be a penalty. The third penalty of the game for 20 yards. Well, now we'll just kind of answer it. I was asking Brady there, saying it's one by land and one by sea, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
a Raider is by land
Okay.
and a Pirate's by sea. So
Okay.
you're getting a little history lesson here on a Saturday afternoon as this one bounces to the outside on the bobsled play. Furt just trying to get by Silling. Silling, though, might have went out of bounds as he stretched. He did. Good job by Furt getting there and eventually bouncing Silling out. 2-point conversion, no good, but the second possession does result in 6 on the City of Hope scoreboard. Raiders lead it by 6.
We offer the greatest broadband that anyone can subscribe to. And that's because of the infrastructure that we have been able to build over the last decade. You know, we're talking 10 gigabit per customer. That's the network we're building. There's days I think about, what's the network going to be after I retire? Where it continues to evolve, and if it evolves as much as what it has in the last 73 years, we can't even dream what it's going to be in the future.
High school football here today on your live event.com. 2 minutes, 30 seconds goes off the clock. A 55-yard drive here for the Maple River Raiders, capped off by a Silling 29-yard rushing touchdown here. And so far, Hoots, 3 possessions, 3 scores combined between these two teams. And as we alluded to, it might be what defense steps up first, but both teams like to do things a little bit differently. Hankinson, not 100% like Enderlin, but they can throw the football like we saw the Eagles do 8 days ago here, Hoots. And the Maple River, obviously, not the Navy-Army triple option, but a team that grounds and pounds the football.
Yeah, you did say Raiders go by land.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah,
Yep.
Raiders go by ground here on Saturday afternoon.
Here comes McCullough. This one's going to be a squibber and eventually picked up by Hernandez, but his right knee was on the ground at the 35, and that's where they'll give him the ball here. Second possession of the game by the Pirates. You know, history was a favorite class of mine, and I just was wondering with Brady, you know, what was the difference? Because when you put the logos next to each other, they look awfully similar.
They definitely are, yes.
You know, so that was just one of the small things here in high school football. But so far, Hankinson, Maple River. Hankinson, the smallest class when it comes to 9-man in terms of enrollment. They do not co-op with anybody. And this Pirate team in an awfully good region with Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion, Weimar, Lidgewood as well. They've been tested getting to this ball game here. First down and 10. Rayshawn Earl will keep a little speed option. Pitches it outside here. There does come a flag. The Pirates able to get to the 45-yard line here on the far sideline on the pitch to Hentz. But where the flag is normally is a hold or a block in the back.
Yeah, definitely was. Jonah Thompson did a great job of, kind of going underneath the block. And then he got held because I don't know if it's tackle or a tight end on this side. He definitely grabbed onto him as soon as Jonah beat him. So it was a good play defensively there. So
far for the Hankinson Pirates, 2 penalties for 15 yards. Maple River has 3 for 20, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet. And that's a difficult one for both teams early on with that yellow hanky, if you will. Awfully large college football game later on tonight in Fargo with the Jacks and the Bison. UND going up against Northern Iowa as well, currently at the Alaris Center. It is a busy time here in October.
Baseball playoffs tonight. It's quite the viewing time if you're a sports fan.
Yeah, how about the Cleveland Guardians and the Yankees? That finish has been fun the first couple of games. They'll run the exact same play this time. Rayshawn Earl will keep it. Earl's going to get the yardage back and some. Earl could go. Earl to the 40. Earl to the 30. Earl down the sideline to the 10. 5 end zone. It's 75 yards for Rayshawn Earl, and we're tied at 14 apiece.
And we've talked all year long getting to cover a lot of 9-man football. You have to fill up every single gap, and there's bigger gaps in 9-man than there's 11-man. And, they had the first couple covered. He saw one little seam, put his foot in the ground, and it was a house call.
22 seconds, you had a flag, and then Rayshawn Earl just kind of did a good job, Hoots, I thought, of slow playing that option, right? There wasn't anything there initially. He didn't force the option, and then all of a sudden, once he made the cutback, he had green grass in front of him.
The Raiders, I thought, did a nice job. They took away that pitch, man. They forced him to cut it up, exactly what you're supposed to do. But, those Pirate linemen, they did a great job of knowing, hey, there could be a cutback. We are not going to give up on this play.
As it'll be a shotgun formation, Hankinson looking to take their first lead of the game here. Might be first one to 100 wins as we're going right now. Rayshawn Earl looking. Rayshawn Earl keeping. Rayshawn Earl walks in for the 2-point conversion, and the Pirates have their first lead on the City of Hope scoreboard. 16-14 Hankinson here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors and their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
2 plays, 75 yards eventually. Rayshawn Earl takes it to the house, and also Rayshawn with the 2-point conversion. So far, Silling has all 14 for Maple River, and Rayshawn Earl with a Blado 45-yard passing touchdown and 2 points to Gene on the pass. But Rayshawn also has contributed to 16 points here for Hankinson, and it goes back to our pregame show with Irie Insurance here, Hoots, saying off the marquee said Silling or Earl and Silling. It has lived up to the marquee so far here in the opening 10 minutes.
You know what? We've played almost a full quarter, and neither one of them have blinked yet. So it's going to be interesting to see, the first time that either, one of the offensive play callers puts the ball in the hands of somebody other than their playmaker, or, is someone going to turn the ball over or make some type of mistake. Both teams have had penalties that you thought would derail that possession, and then the very next play, the stud goes and makes a play.
Out-of-town scoreboard down in Wymer. It's 24-12. Patriots with the advantage over the Warbirds here on YourLiveEvent.com. And as we say that, the Warbirds get 6. So now it's 24-18 with 9.5 left to play in the third quarter. Also here today, YourLiveEvent.com. We'll get some more high school football coming for you next weekend as well. This one is going to be end over and a deep kick this time once you don't put Silling back there, but it goes all the way back for a touchback.
Yeah, I think they definitely have a game plan there. That as long as 9 and 3 are back there, they're going to kick it short. As soon as they're off the field, kick it deep, put the ball at the 20. Now this is terrible field position for 9-man football.
As the Raiders will utilize it here, their third possession of the game at their own 20-yard line with 2:18 remaining. And this comes down to turnovers, Hoots. Maybe it comes down to tackles for a loss, a sack. But every time it's been even a step backwards, it's been 2 steps forward in a positive direction here for both offenses.
We've called some games this year where this is like, hey, you're back in, inside of your 20. Let's just try to get 8-10 yards, punted, play field position. We've had games like that. I don't think that's going to be the case today.
As Maple River averaging 32 points per game against Hankinson here, they will come out, they will give this one off, and it nearly was fumbled on the snap from the handoff. And unable to get much on the play there is Brennan Anderson. Good job by the Hankinson Pirates defensive line, as that's going to be a tackle for a loss of 1.
Almost seemed like that might have been a read play, and Anderson didn't quite know he was going to get the ball until it was a little too late, and he didn't have any momentum going forward. If you can get that running back first couple steps to be going horizontally, you probably won as a defense, especially when it's an inside run.
Nice crowd here for both the Raiders and the Pirates who made their way. They also brought scaffolding for their coaching staff here, Hoots, with Jason Moneylaws having some construction background.
It's just a decoration. I don't see anybody there.
As it will be now a 2nd down and 11, as it'll go trips to the right-hand side, one to the near sideline. Here was Silling back in the gun. Silling, quick screen, giving it to Bosch. Bosch puts the foot in the ground, and look at Bosch go. But Bosch slips up at about the 22, maybe 23-yard line. Make that the 17, make that a loss upcoming here for about 2 yards.
I like the play design, but you could tell that, the defensive linemen were in a real good position right there. They didn't get caught rushing the quarterback up the field and out of position, which is what you're hoping for when you run some type of that quick swing pass. And then try to get linemen downfield, but they did a good job of understanding, hey, my guy left, I better run with him and put myself in, make some chaos.
And if you get a 3rd down and 10 for either defense here today, Hoots, this is when you have to get off the field.
Exactly, and you'd like to see this ball ran so you don't have to punt it into the wind here on this last play. So try to keep the ball on the ground. You don't want to, well, now you're under 40 seconds, but either way, don't throw an incomplete pass here.
Hankinson will see a motion man here with Anderson go left to right across the formation. Silling in the gun. He's going to keep it. Silling will run this football. Silling gets the boundary. Hankinson does a good job forcing Silling to cut back inside, and Silling eventually gets taken out at about the 24-yard line here for a gain of 7, and that will be the final play more than likely of the first quarter. 11 carries for Silling for 106 yards here, and Hankinson did a really good job there, Hoots, not allowing Silling to get to the numbers, and finally outside they kept him back in.
Yeah, real good job of them understanding, hey, if anybody's going to beat us here, it's not going to be the quarterback. Did a good job of containing him, a lot of hats around the ball, and a good job here by the Raiders not kicking it before this quarter expires.
After 1 quarter play on the City of Hope scoreboard, it's 16-14 Pirates over the Raiders on your liveevent.com.
There was an idea
to bring together a group of remarkable people.
So when they needed us, the call is answered.
We need to get the right protection to as many people as we can.
We need to protect as many as we can.
We will.
We don't give up. Get the right protection for your lifestyle. Go to IRIinsurance.com to get a free quote and consultation.
If you're ready for a great meal, head over to West Main Pizza in Ada and Dilworth. They have a variety of pizzas like Supreme, Barbecue Chicken, The Reuben, Grandma G's Sloppy Joe, BLT, Hawaiian, Vegetarian, and more. West Main Pizza also serves nachos and tacos, great pasta dishes, panini sandwiches, subs, and salads. West Main Pizza at 320 East Main Street in Ada and 111 15th Street Northeast in Dilworth. Check them out online at westmainpizza.net.
As we're back here after the first quarter play, and I would have said Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Brady Siebel's with you. Brady running everything behind the scenes. Nathan Hoots on the sideline. And I would have said, Hoots, if you would have got maybe about an extra 3-4 yards there for Silling, might you go for it on a 4th down? Yep. But I think on this one with the 4th and 6, you'd rather punt, and as you alluded to, with the wind a little bit, with Rayshon having a look into the sun on the return here for the Pirates.
If you're a Raider coach, you probably told him you want to kick this ball out of bounds. Maybe that scaffolding's a good aiming spot. Do not let him get the ball in space on a punt return.
Preston Dow's going to try to angle this kick. It's a high fly kick, and it takes a big Raider bounce to the 35. It'll roll all the way inside the 20 and eventually down there. A great punt by Dow's. It's going to flip the field to 55 yards.
It was a little nerve-wracking there. He caught it, took a step, then reset himself, and then stepped and kicked. That was a little nerve-wracking, but that was an excellent kick. Whatever you got to do to get yourself set, the Hankinson coaching staff might look at that and be like, maybe we'll bring a little heat the next time they punt.
As the Hankinson Pirates, however, will take the ball for the first time today, leading on the City of Hope scoreboard, 16-14, up by 2. So we've seen Rayshon Earl throw, we've seen Rayshon Earl run. What is the counter here defensively for the Raiders?
I'd probably play a little tighter coverage. Don't allow him to have any space. And you probably got to bring heat, but it's got to be disciplined. You can't just blitz him with reckless abandon, because that's when he'll make one guy miss and score again. But you got to really, really cover well. Don't allow him to have any space to throw the ball.
The Hankinson Pirates will handle it, 1st down and 10. This will be a low snap as getting on the football eventually. Here will be Hankinson with Parker Falk, and the Pirates are very fortunate there, Hoots, to even have a loss of maybe 5 yards, as that could have been very dangerous.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if it was miscommunication between the center and quarterback, or someone wasn't quite looking. I didn't see. I was more so watching the motion and how the Raiders responded to that motion. But great job not allowing him to pick it up and run for 8-10 yards, because that can happen just as much in 9-man as it doesn't.
Well, as we said, for both teams, if you get a chance to get off the field, Maple River had a tackle for loss offensively on the first play that put him behind the sticks at 2nd and 11, and eventually made it 3rd and long. Well, here it's the same thing. Unfortunate bounce if you're Hankinson off the snap. Now it's 2nd and 15. Can the Raiders defense take advantage this time. Rayshawn Earl going to hand this ball off to Hernandez. Hernandez met by Dowse. Does get a couple back, but he's taken down at around the 18.
All right, so now the question needs to be answered. If you're playing on defense right now, where's 87? He's run crossing patterns every time they need something big, and you can't allow Rayshawn to break contain. You got to keep him inside the pocket, have good rush integrity, and know where 87 is, and make sure you have him covered. Maybe with two guys.
Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining as well, and going back to something here, Hoots, depending on the score and the situation, make a note again for those at home. Special teams with Matthew Blado can be a very big weapon at the end of a half.
Absolutely, and you know it good kicks that are flushed don't get affected as much by the wind. You know, a lesser kick really can get knocked down.
3rd down and long here. The Pirates looking for a wheel route. They got a man open with Hentz for a second, but then this was batted down. And is there a flag? Yes, there is. He had 2 Maple River Raiders with Trent Warren and Preston Dowse. The question was, did you get enough of a left-handed push off the intended receiver Hentz to force a pass interference? And looks like Chris Larson, our white hat here today, is going to say yes, and that'll be a first down.
Yeah, that's tough. If it would have been, 3rd and 16, not 3rd and 13, it wouldn't have been an automatic first down, but the 15 yards, that makes it tough. It was not a good throw into the wind. 2 guys had an opportunity to make a play, and unfortunately, instead of making contact with the ball, he made contact with the receiver.
Take us through that again, Hoots, because again, in high school, compared to college to NFL, the pass interference isn't an automatic
Correct.
First down, it's just the yardage.
It's a 15-yard penalty, which typically results in a first down, but it's not automatic. It's just roughing. Any type of roughing is automatic first down.
You would call this the Delta formation if you're a Bison fan. It's a full house backfield regardless. Here's a pitch play to the outside for the Hankinson Pirates, and Maple River does a good job sticking that one with Athey trying to get to the outside, and that'll be his first carry of the game. So far, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, and now the 5th different Pirate rushing this football as Athey gets a yard.
Yeah, none of these plays that aren't some type of a read or an RPO are causing any issues for the Raider defense right now. They're doing a good job of flowing to the ball and making contact behind the line of scrimmage. But anytime there's any indecision, any type of run-pass option or type of option play, that's when there's been problems.
As the wind continues to pick up a little bit here, as you have a play action for Earl. Earl dancing, looking, Genius covered. Rayshawn nearly fumbled the football. Great job coming in defensively by Jonah Thompson. Number 1, good coverage in the back end by Trent Warren.
I agree.
But number 2 here, Hoots, Thompson nearly got a strip sack fumble.
Yeah, my eyes immediately went to 87 and watched where he's running, and Warren took 1 bad step toward the line of scrimmage and then immediately got back in. We got quads over here with Earl, backward pass.
They quickly are going to go with it, as Rayshawn Earl will go to the far sideline. Earl gets the 35 and down at the 39-yard line. Is that going to go as a pass or a rush there?
That definitely
Parker
was backwards, yep.
Okay, so that'll go as a rush for Rayshawn Earl to the 39-yard line as he gets almost all the yardage back. Makes it 4th down and short as Earl gets about 13 yards on the play.
See, when I coached, we had a magic number of the 40-yard line. If we were outside of the 40-yard line, it was an automatic go for it. Now we're at the 39 here, and they got a little indecision. But you got Earl back here, I would be very, very careful.
Also, good job by Hankinson getting to the line quickly. Maple River sometimes, or any defense, could be all of a sudden a little out-coached on that play, but Maple River does a good job. This one will go into the wind. Blado does get the punt off. It takes a Raider, make that a Pirate roll to the 28, and it is a punt of about 32 yards. So both defenses now have withstood the challenge here. Back-to-back punts combined for both teams, and the Raiders will have the ball with 8:06 remaining here in the first half. But Hoots, what did you see from Hankinson quickly getting to the line there and getting a nice play there with Falk and Earl?
Yeah, I like that. And to immediately know that, hey, we're going quads, we're going to try to catch him off guard. If one guy's got his eyes looking somewhere else or his body's in the wrong spot, you can get a cheap one. And they almost did, but they had enough guys that knew exactly what they were doing, just broke down, make the play, because tackling Earl in space has certainly been a challenge thus far.
Coming up at the half, we'll get to our halftime show. Your out-of-town scores, also what's going on across the way here throughout the week on YourLiveEvent.com. Simply go to our website or hit subscribe on our YouTube channel to check out more throughout the week. High school football here today. The Raiders playing from behind, down by 2 with the rock. as you'll see it with Silling. Silling gets the outside. Rachel Earl trying to make a tackle at the shoestrings and gets the left shoestring just by a hair. It's going to be close. We'll see if they give him the first. It is a gain of at least 9.5, maybe a first down.
That was a big-time tackle. There was a guy sitting there waiting for him that had just gotten off the block of Anderson, but, you know, you never know. You don't want to leave a guy one-on-one with Silling in space. He probably would have had him, you know, pushed up against the sideline, but either way, that was a great tackle. This has got to take a chance.
Silling 12 carries, 115 yards so far. The other Raiders here have combined for 13-5 and then 4 yards here, so 22 between Anderson, Bosch, and Dow's on the ground otherwise. Full house backfield, or make that the wishbone now. 2nd down and 1 as they go under center here with Silling. Handoff to Dow's, has a crease. Dow's gets to the 45-yard line. Hernandez with the tackle. That's a gain of 7.
Real good run fake, good counter action. Lineman got in front and then, you know, got all the way to the second level without being touched. That's really important for this offense.
Yeah, give credit to Bernstein, Zahn on there. Also, you see tight ends of Thompson and Wisniewski and Owen Tickey. Maybe not the biggest offensive line by any means, Hoots, when it comes to 9-man football. But the one thing we've talked about since the Sargent County game for the first to where we are now is they have leverage and they do a good job.
Yeah, they do. They do a nice job of getting a lot of guys out in space and just understanding if you just neutralize the defensive line, you've probably won.
1st down and 10 upcoming here for the Raiders. A little bit of a high snap. Silling trying to keep it as Hankinson trying to bottle up Silling, but Silling gets the numbers near side 45. Silling with the spin move at the 40, and Silling with the first down there for a gain of 14, make that 15 yards.
Yeah, real nice little counter action again. Allows that lineman to be able to get in front of Silling and have the extra body in front. You know, defensive line from Hankinson's getting good pressure, but if he can bounce it outside before they can get to him, he's got an opportunity to get big yards.
T. Silling will handle the football, and for the Maple River Raiders, they've attempted one pass here today. A little swing out to Bosch that eventually went for a tackle for a loss of -2, but other than that, it's been everything's on the ground and not even a broken play for Silling to run the ball. It's been all run plays outside of one play call.
You know what? Stay true to your identity.
As the Raiders will handle it here. 1st down and 10. Motion man will be Bosch. Here's the reverse end around. Now's the pass. Silling going down the field. Has a man wide open in the end zone. Incomplete off the hands of Wisniewski. They ran it to perfection. Wisniewski saw the ball coming in, trying the over-the-shoulder catch, and as the ball was coming down, went off his fingertips. Maple River had Hankinson fooled, and the Pirates defense catches a break.
Okay, listen closely. It sucks that it didn't get caught, and you're jogging back and you're frustrated. But now that is in the back of their mind for the rest of the game. Every single play, if they're willing to do that on 1st and 10, they can run it at any time during this game. Yes, it's unfortunate it wasn't caught, but now Earl's going to have to go, oh, I got to pay attention at all times to everybody on the field, and they can throw the ball.
Silling to Bosch to Dow's, and then you give it back to Silling there. The ball goes through a lot of hands before it finally went to Thompson.
You know, I was begging for a counter play off of that counter that they run on the 2-point conversion, and that was really well done.
As you have a 2nd down and 10, handoff going to Dow's, and this time Hankinson able to read it nicely. Coming in on the tackle is Parker Falk, and that makes it now a 3rd down and a long 11.
But now we've gone back-to-back plays without Silling running the football, and that might be at least one too many. So probably try to run the ball here, get 5 or 6 yards, put yourself in a position where you can run anything in the book on 4th down.
And if you're the Hankinson Pirates, you make a defensive stand here. The question is, how many yards can you give up before it becomes 4-down territory here, Hoots, right? If you give a tackle for last year, obviously you got a punt. But if you get 5 yards here from Maple River, is that enough to go for it on 4th?
I think even if it's 4th and 11, you're still going for it. You gotta put your foot to the gas here and make sure that you're ahead at halftime.
Maple River again will have to kick to start the 2nd half. The Raiders pocket collapses. Silling to the 40, Silling to the 35. T. Silling down the near sideline. That's gonna be close for the 1st down.
Did he get it?
They need the 29-yard line depending on the spot here.
Yep.
As our umpire Ryan Weber puts the ball down, and they'll give them the 28. So a gain of 12.
Yeah, the official on this side didn't exactly mirror the official on that side. It looked a little closer than it should have been, but he got it by a good yard. Enough not to make the chain gang go out. Have we had a chain gang have to run out yet this year for a measurement?
I don't think we've seen one here
we're
today,
go
but
for 5.
broadcasters jinx probably coming there. Hoots later.
I got confirmation we have not had the chain gang go out and measure yet this year, and they're all smiles.
First down and 10, yeah. You just keep this one going a little bit more as the chain gang does not have to go out, but the Raiders got to hurry here with the play clock winding down. Shotgun formation for T. Silling here as they will go with that double tight split as Silling will handle the football, trying to get the outside, and coming in immediately for Hankinson is going to be Benson. Benson shot out of a cannon, and Silling gets a tackle for a loss of -1.
Yeah, shot out of a cannon was the first thing I thought of. That was really well done by them. You know, everybody had their gap and attacked it with, you know, that reckless abandon that you need to have against this run game.
Second down, and all of a sudden you start also having to use your timeouts here as this one continues. Both teams with 3 timeouts here, Hoots, but this drive for Maple River, after they forced Hankinson to punt, started at their own 29-yard line with 8 minutes left. Here in the quarter, they've taken nearly 4 minutes off the clock.
You know, this is a game plan you probably don't tell your players, but you're telling your other coaches, you know, we're taking as much time off the clock as possible. They are milking it all the way down. I don't think they're going to get this one off. It's going to have to take a timeout.
And there is the timeout, first timeout of the game, almost at the 4-minute mark. We'll break with them as it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Raiders next here from Hope.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Update for you in the second half. Weimar Lidgewood Mayport CG Warbirds 26-24 over the Mayport CG Pirates. Now make it 30-26 Mayport CG, who gets in for a touchdown. So the Patriots now lead by 4 points. Cavalier all over 4 wins by 30. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. North Prairie over Nelson County 12-0. 6 minutes left in the first half. And Mulhall Lansford Sherwood leads Tioga 14-10 going to the fourth quarter. Kenmare Bowbells, Burke Central 22, Alexander 14. 6 minutes left in the first half. Central McLean all over Beach 40-0 in the first half, and then Henninger County and South Border scoreless late in the first quarter. 8 9-man football games here this weekend. We'll have 8 next weekend. We're going from 24 teams to 16 teams still live to try to get to the Fargo Dome on November the 15th for the Dakota Bowl. Shotgun formation for Silling. Silling looking for the screen now will come to the near sideline. Silling to the 25, and Silling gets taken down by a pair of Pirates named Hernandez and Hintz, but Silling able to get to the 23-yard line for a gain of about 7.
Yeah, you're probably frustrated as a Pirate coach going, you know, we gave up those 6 yards. We probably should have had them, you know, farther back. We defended the swing pass, which is what it was designed to be done. But if you can tackle him in space with the first man there, you know, Hernandez did a great job of just taking him down. Doesn't matter how pretty it looks, you just got to take him down.
The future University of Sioux Falls Cougar collegiate football player T. Silling here for the Raiders and the Pirates. Again, final game that is guaranteed coming in, as it's now win or go home time here for the playoffs. Third down upcoming for Maple River. They'll need to get past the 20 to about the nearly 18-yard line. Handoff goes to Dowse. Dowse gets the 20, has the first down, spins off of a tackler, and Dowse gets the 14-yard line.
Yeah, they've done a real nice job of being able to get downhill in a hurry with that counter. You'd almost wonder in the second half here, is Bosch really a threat? Is he going to be able to, you know, do you sell out to try to stop him? They haven't given the ball out of that formation yet. Each time they've gone with that wishbone, it's just been a counter to Dowse. Might see him just try to sell out and stop that play and make him do something else here in the second half.
And if you're Hankinson, you do get the ball to start the second half, but when do you start wondering about, do you call a timeout like we've seen the last 5-6 years, Hoots, in college NFL football? You call timeouts to give time to your offense. You used to say, hey, defense, make a stand, and then we'll go to half. But now all of a sudden you want to give your offense the ball as many possessions as you can.
Especially when they can score as quickly as possible. You're probably going to see them, milk it all the way down. We're already inside of 5 again. They're not going to get it off.
Ball at the 14-yard line here. Silling trying to get the ball off. Does. Keeps it. Little misdirection play. Silling going to get tackled, as we've said these names with Hintz and Hernandez a handful of times tonight, as this one will maybe be about a gain of a couple.
Stayed in bounds?
As it does stay in bounds,
Okay.
and they will make it about at the 14, so maybe a half yard, if that, as it brings up 2nd and long.
Yeah, that's important for the Raiders here. You don't want to have too many plays go out of bounds here. You want to try to score within like the last 30 seconds if possible, and they're doing a great job of taking every second off of this play clock.
And that's the question where if you're Coach Moneylaws, again, when do you maybe use a timeout? I get it, you don't want to give Maple River any more time offensively, but you want to get the ball back potentially here in the first half. As this will be a 2nd down and a long 9. Silling sees the motion man in Bosch in the orbit. T. Silling has a chance to pitch it. Silling going to keep it. Silling to the numbers to the 5. T. Silling trying to dive in for the end zone. Is he in? Yes, he is! Silling with a house call. He's got a hat trick. His 14th yard rushing touchdown here for Raiders.
There was some real good blocking out here on this outside, but, Hankinson did a tremendous job of stretching it all the way to the sideline, and then it was just a matter of could 2 Pirates take down 1 Raider at the goal line, and you know what you said, the Raiders go by land, and they did that just right there.
As a lot of time comes off the clock, 6 minutes and 32 seconds on the drive that goes 71 yards as Silling will get in the end zone for the 3rd time here today. And for the Raiders, a large 2-point conversion upcoming here, up by 4. Silling, delay QB keeper into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. On the City Hope scoreboard, it's Maple River 22, Hankinson 16 late in the 2nd quarter.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
High school football here today on YourLiveEvent.com. 1:28 remaining here in this first half of play for the Maple River Raiders. Silling with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the contest for the Raiders. Touchdown, punt, and touchdown. That one again, 6 minutes and 32 seconds off the clock. Maple River with 1 timeout. One for the Hankinson Pirates. Touchdown, punt. And we'll see what's upcoming here. Hankinson with all 3 timeouts, and that's an eternity with Rayshawn Earl at quarterback here, Nathan Hoots.
Yeah, it seems like they've had a lot of situations like this defensively, the Raiders have here in the last 4 or 5 weeks, having to get stops at the end of halves and end of games. And it's been kind of a coin flip whether or not they've been able to do it. It would be a lot of momentum if they could just get a stop here and keep them out of the end zone here to end the half.
As they will put the ball on the tee with Charlie McCullough here at the 40-yard line. McCullough with the kick. This one is going to be a squibber to the outside, and eventually, is it a live ball? Maple River says they got it on the far sideline here as they're trying to take the scrum out, and they will give it to Hankinson. Hootsy had a bird's eye view on top of it.
I think Blue had it initially, and it might have been wrestled away. They're having a little bit of a conference to make sure.
Hankinson with Tyson Falk on the far side. Dowser's trying to get on the ball for Maple River, and they will give it to Hankinson. That was close of being almost out of bounds as Falk was trying to see that one go out of bounds. Dowse was speeding down there to try to get the ball, and eventually Hankinson got it there with
I don't
Tyson.
know how that ball did not go out of bounds. All the momentum was going toward the sideline, and then it took one hop and kind of spun back toward the middle. You could tell that Hankinson was just kind of boxing out and letting the ball go out of bounds, and then it just stopped.
That would have been a large swing, if you will, because then Maple River could have got the ball trying to get up by 2 scores. Instead, Hankinson with a chance to tie or take the lead here on this possession. Motion man going right to left. Rayshawn Earl's going to keep it, trying to look for a little bit of a daylight play, and Martin did a good job stretching that one out immediately and making the tackle.
That was really well done, starting with the end on the outside, stretching things out and making sure that he did not get to his outside shoulder. He fought to keep free, and then there were finally 5 guys around the ball ready to make a play. Really well done there by Blue.
We'll take a timeout with Coach Jason Moneylaws. It is a gain of 1. Martin with the tackle. We'll be back after this.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger, and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need an expert who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country. Experts in every field.
An interesting point of the game here. If Hankinson doesn't do much with this play, or if it's an incompletion, it stops the clock. The Raiders get the ball back with 2 timeouts if they can force a punt. On the opposite side, Hankinson, you get something positive here. You're trying to move the ball down the field and try to score in your own right before the half. So a large play after a tackle for a yard here for Rayshawn Earl at quarterback. Earl will handle it here, getting to the outside, finds Falk, and Falk's then going to go down on the ground to about the 43-yard line for a gain of 5.
They're going quick. It's important for the DBs to get set, identify who the eligible guys are, and make good decision.
As Hankinson will get to line, twins both left and right. Rayshawn Earl with the football, looking for Hernandez on an out pattern here, and this is going to one-hop at the 45. You run a little quick slant in with Gene. You run Hernandez on a 5-yard out. Makes it now 4th down and 5. An interesting decision here for Coach Moneylaws.
You know, interesting. Would that, if he would have caught it, would he have been past the first down marker?
No, he would have been 2 yards shy.
Okay, got it. Yeah, then not a great play for them to run, but the ball kind of got hung up in the wind there.
And now Hankinson does not want to give anything to Maple River on a short field. They will be kicking into the wind. The Raiders with nobody on the return. Blado on to punt. Hankinson with a clean snap. Maple River just making sure there's no trickeration. Blado with a nice kick as that one rolls inside the 20 to about the 13-yard line, so it does flip the field. And with 44 seconds left, and with Hankinson only having 1 timeout remaining, you could just kneel on it 3 times hoots here if Hankinson does use both of those timeouts to get to the half if you're Maple River.
Or you could run it with Silling. I would try that. See if you can pop one. Usually you try to run something, safe. And then if you pop it, you call a timeout and then, get into your offense. But the Raiders do not have a 2-minute offense. I mean, that's been clearly demonstrated here throughout the year. Anytime they have to go fast, it doesn't work. So likely you're probably just running something safe and going to the half.
T. Silling, again, with 18 carries for 162 yards rushing. He is right now at 2,000 yards exactly on the season.
So you're saying don't take a knee here.
I'm saying don't take a knee here to take those stats away from him. T. Silling will handle it here. Hankinson trying to keep everything and Silling in front of him here, and they are able to do so there. Silling gets maybe right to line, and they're actually going to make it maybe a half yard and even a tackle for a loss. Regardless here, if Hankinson doesn't call a timeout, it could be the final play going into half.
It's interesting to watch. We have multiple play callers over here on the sideline. It's occasionally Coach Belke, sometimes Coach Fontaine, but no matter who's calling it, there's certainly no rush to get the ball or to get the play snapped.
I like what Jason Moneylaws said in our pregame show talking with this week. They're going to take 30 seconds off the clock almost in between every play if they can. They got to hurry if they want to get the snap off. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Silling does get the snap off. One final play. Trying a little up and go for Carter Bosch here. Bosch is getting held on. And if you're Hernandez, you're fine with that, not
absolutely.
trying to get burned, right? I mean, as much as yes, you give Maple River a free play here, Hoots, you don't want to give up the 85-yard touchdown.
Yeah, typically you see on that type of a route, he releases to the outside, and it's like as soon as he released back to the inside, they just grabbed him and tackled him. Just like, no, that's not going to happen. You're not going to score from the 29-yard line now with one free play. That was definitely the right thing to do.
4 penalties now for 45 yards. It will be a untimed down here for Maple River, and they did get the playoff. They did take a shot here with Silling, and now I got to assume it's going to probably be the same thing one more time. And if you get another defensive penalty here, you get a little bit closer to midfield. At the same time, if you're Silling, you don't want to necessarily give Hankinson a chance with the interception, Hoots, to try to run it back the other way.
Nothing too fancy. Don't put the ball in multiple people's hands. Don't run that play you ran that almost got a touchdown.
We'll see what they do here is Silling. They have a couple of receivers leave. Silling trying to scramble. Silling has some room to the 35-40. Silling gets to midfield. Look at him go. Has a block. Silling gets to 30. T. Silling to the 20, 15, and he gets taken down at about the 14-yard line. Hintz comes in with a shoestring tackle to the 14-yard line. Silling nearly took it for a house call. It will go down as a gain of 57 yards regardless. As we go to the half here, it's been a dandy in the opening round of the 9-man football playoffs. Maple River leads it by 6 on your liveevent.com.
RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer in Hillsboro, is now Agassi Precision Ag.
RDK 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 is now Agassi Precision Ag. You heard that right. RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer in Hillsboro, is now Agassi Precision Ag. Same location, employees, and customer service you deserve. Visit us at planterdoc.com.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
I'm PJ Rund, and I live in Mission Court in Ada, Minnesota. Here, there are a lot of people like it here. Well, what could be better?
I'm Molly, and I have lived here a little over 3 years now. I like the fact that I don't have stairs or elevators, and there's always some activities around here.
You can't help but like it here. That's what I say.
There's a new inventory of trailers at Bloomfield Enterprises of Hillsboro. You can see the latest inventory online at BloomfieldTrailers.com. Bloomfield Enterprises has a full line of Big Tex trailers. Big Tex has affordable and versatile utility trailers for all your jobs. Big Tex has a full line of products from ATV trailers to gooseneck to dump trailers and more. Call Larry at 218-368-7989 or Tim at 701-430-0877. Bloomfield Enterprises in Hillsboro.
We offer the greatest broadband that anyone can subscribe to. And that's because of the infrastructure that we have been able to build over the last decade. You know, we're talking 10 gigabit per customer. That's the network we're building. There's days I think about, what's the network going to be after I retire? Where it continues to evolve, and if it evolves as much as what it has in the last 73 years, we can't even dream what it's going to be in the future.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need someone who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country.
Chase Miller, Nathan Hootson alongside Brady Siebels with you here. We'll take a look at your out-of-town scores in a moment, but first, let's recap the scoring that happened here and take a look at the first half numbers and get Nathan Hoot's thoughts on the opening 24 minutes of play. The Maple River Raiders, 14 points in the first quarter, 8 in the second. Hankinson, all 16 points in the first quarter. Maple River took the opening drive of the game. 6 minutes, 48 seconds left in the quarter. Silly with the 5-yard rushing touchdown. He got the 2-point conversion to make it 8-0 as well. From there, you had Rayshon Earl DeBlato for a 45-yard passing touchdown. Earl to Gene for the 2-point conversion, and that's what you eventually would make it then a 8-8 ball game. 5:16 left in the first. 2:41 left in the first quarter. T. Silly with a 29-yard rushing touchdown in the second possession of the game. Raiders did not get a 2-pointer, made it 14-8. Hankinson would score on their second possession with 2:18 left to play. Just seconds later, Rayshon Earl with a 75-yard rushing touchdown and a 2-point conversion as well to make it 16-14, and then Silling with a 14-yard rushing touchdown late in the first half with a 1:28 in the second, and a 2-point conversion rush as well. 22-16 Maple River with the lead. Nathan Hoots, what are your opening thoughts here of the first half of play?
It's been pretty much nonstop excitement for 24 minutes of play here in the first half. It's been kind of a contrast of styles, the power run game versus kind of the speed and finesse from the Pirates. But it's it just seems like the Pirates are just inches away from breaking a lot of different ones. And the Raiders had a similar play that, they broke and should have had a touchdown as well. So I think there's a lot of defensive adjustments being made here at halftime between the two squads. Offensively, it's probably just keep doing what we're doing and be ready to adjust if they make some type of a crazy adjustment here.
Taking a look at the fourth quarter of play down in Weimar, it's the Weimar-Lidgewood Warbirds 34, the Mayport CG Patriots 30, 8:14 left to play in the fourth quarter. The Warbirds looking to pounce this one in as well for another touchdown on YourLiveEvent.com. Other scores going on across the way here. The winner of the Warbirds and the Patriots goes to Griggs Dakota, the number 6 seed, and the winner of Region 2, the winner of this game again, will make their way to Lemoore Litchfield Marion. Mohall Lansford Sherwood leads over Tioga 14-10. A couple minutes left in the fourth quarter. Cavalier officially moves on with a win here today over Four Winds. First time ever that Four Winds hosted a playoff football game, but Cavalier will make their way to North Border, the Eagles, upcoming next weekend. North Prairie with a 12-0 lead going into the second half against Nelson County. Kenmare Bullbells Burke Central leads by 6. 3 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Central McLean well in hand over Beach, 48-0 at the half. If Central McLean wins that football game, they will go to Grant County Flasher. And then you have Henniger County leads by 2 over South Border, 8-6 with 12 minutes left to play in the first half. Nathan Hoots, your out-of-town scores. Anything particularly stand out in this opening round to you across the state of North Dakota?
Yeah, I think Region 2, which is the Maple River, Griggs, Mid-Dakota, the Mayport region has kind of been looked down upon this year, but they might be flexing their muscles here in the first round. Good game in Winemere between them and Mayport. And then, you don't want to say surprising result, but so far at the half, up 6 when you lost 2 weeks ago by 21 is some may consider it a surprise. But excitement, and, it's always interesting to see, when a 2 seed hosts a 3 and vice versa, how much fun it can be because they're more often than not really well-matched teams.
Weimar-Lidgewood does score. They get the 2-point conversion, now leads by 12, 42-30 with 8 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break and we come back after this. First half numbers next in Hope.
We love our pets, accidents and messes included. Shaw Floor's Pet Perfect Carpet helps you love confidently with protection from everyday messes and odors. Designed with the whole family in mind, Pet Perfect features built-in protection from staining, fading, and pet hair. Make tails wag with Shaw Floor's Pet Perfect. Designed for you, perfect for your pet.
Available at Carpet World, 17th Avenue South, online at carpetworldfargo.com.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
High school football here today. T. Stilling with 219 yards rushing so far on the season, 2,157 yards, and he has 31 rushing touchdowns as well. Taking a look at the first half numbers for Maple River, it's been the ground game that's been the difference and also has minimized this contest where Hankinson has only had 4 possessions in the game. Maple River had 5 eventually at the end of the half with 43 seconds. For Maple River, that 57-yard rush there by Cillian Lates obviously helped his stats go up, if you will. 20 rushes for 219 yards, 3 rushing scores. Preston Dow's 5 carries for 29 yards. You have Bosch 1 for 5, and Anderson has 2 for 4. T. Silling through the air, 1 of 2 for -2 yards. That -2 was to Carter Bosch. 3 penalties for 20 yards, no turnovers on the game. Maple River so far here offensively. Taking a look again at the numbers one more time. 255 yards of total offense, 28 rushes for 257 yards. Well, for the Hankinson Pirates, so far rushing, Rayshon Earl 4 carries for 81 yards. Hernandez 2 for 6. Rayshon Earl also does have a 75-yard rushing touchdown. Hentz has 1 for 4. Athey 1 for 1, and Parker Falk 1 for -5 yards. For the Hankinson Pirates, 87 yards on the ground on 9 attempts. Rayshon Earl 3 of 5 through the air for 55 yards and a touchdown. 45-yard score to Blado, and then 2 receptions of 5 yards each to Falk for 2 catches for 10 yards total. 4 penalties for 45 yards, no turnovers for Hankinson. Numbers, Nathan Hoots, anything in particular stand out to the numbers? And then the follow-up is, what's the adjustments for both teams here in the second half?
I would say the first thing that stands out is 2 passing attempts for the Raiders. That's 2 more than I anticipated, but, that's, like I said, right after the play happened where the touchdown was dropped, you just got to show that you're willing to do it to keep them honest, and looking forward to a great second half.
So if you're going in the second half here, biggest adjustment again for both teams?
I think it's stack the box as many as you can put. You don't need a safety. Stop playing with the safety. Just if you're going to play man-to-man across the board, Hankinson, just completely commit to it. Put a guy in the middle, add Rayshon to the box, and just fully commit to stopping the run and force them. If you're going to beat us, it's going to take a perfect pass and a great catch. And then defensively for the Raiders, make sure you're accounting for 6, account for 87, and keep a nice shell. I think that's kind of the difference. I'd put more guys in the box if you're Hankinson and put less guys in the box if I'm Maple River.
As we'll take a quick break after this and get you ready for second half action. He's Nathan Hoots. I'm Chase Miller. Brady Siebel's behind the scenes here at Hope on your liveevent.com.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
At Polar Communications, innovation is in our DNA. We're pioneers, always looking ahead to what's next to ensure our communities thrive. We were the first in the state to offer gig services, and we didn't stop there. We continue to lead the way in delivering high-quality, reliable technology to your doorstep. A better experience starts here.
Let the geeks at GK Technology help you with your agricultural data. Their agronomists know agriculture. When it comes to creating soils and zone maps to maximize yields in your fields, you can trust the people with decades of experience in site-specific agriculture. Everyone at GK Technology has a background in agriculture, so they know what makes a farm run, and they speak your language. The geeks at GK Technology have a map and an app for that.
There's more at 104. Hillsborough, North Dakota has everything you need on your next road trip. Food, fuel, fun, and family-friendly activities. Stop by and fill up your tank or grab a bite to eat. Have a blast at Goose River Golf Club, the swimming pool, or one of our beautiful parks. There's even ice skating and cross-country skiing. Take in the sights or stay the night so you don't miss a thing. Experience Hillsborough and see why there's more at 104.
Update here on yourliveevent.com. Down in Weimar, it's the Weimar Lidgewood Warbirds 48, Mayport CG Patriots 30 with 7 minutes left to go. Warbirds lead it by 18 now over the Patriots. on your liveevent.com with Joe Lancello, and alongside James Martins, I'm Chase Miller. Nathan Hoots and Brady Siebel's with you here on our City Hope scoreboard. Work and play in Hope, North Dakota. From job listings and housing options, you can search HopeND.com. One final game again, Cavalier winners by 30 over 4-win. Still 7 games in action currently, this being one of them. We'll see if the second half can match the quality of play of what the first half was. A back-and-forth contest, but minimized possessions as McCullough will put this one on the tee. It's going to roll out of bounds, and here's the old question. Do you force him to re-kick, or do you take the field position? As Nathan Hoots would always say, I would force him to re-kick the ball.
Kick it again. Let's see what happens, though.
But we did see Hankinson almost give the ball up on a similar kick just like that to end the first half, but the Pirates will accept the penalty here on Maple River, push him 5 yards back.
Someone give Monolaz a pat on the back, a coach of the year, something here. If you're going to try to pooch it out of bounds at about the 35, you might as well make them do it again and just move yourself 5 yards. If you're going to do it again, keep moving them backwards.
Jason Moneylaws, the head coach here for Hankinson. Larry Fontaine, the head coach for Maple River. Both coaches have said throughout the week they're really good friends with each other. Obviously, if you have to lose, you don't want to lose to anyone in particular, but that they would be fans of the opposition who would have to go on to Lemoore next week, as this one's going to roll, take a high hop. Hernandez will take the ball there, gets to midfield, and gets wrapped down at the 49. So, Hoots, that's a real estate of plus 16
yeah,
for Hankinson.
I was going to say, 50's better than 35, correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
All
yes.
Right. There you go.
11:56 remaining here in this opening quarter, as they will start actually in plus territory for the Raiders. First time for either team today to start in plus territory, but there's been a lot right at that 40-yard line or around midfield. Hankinson trips near sideline. Rayshawn Earl will be in the gun. Needs one more passing touchdown for the single-season school record. Earl going to get popped, and Earl is going to get hit low by Brennan Anderson for a gain of 1.
Real good job to begin here by the Raiders. They had a man on the pitch man, and they had a man on the quarterback. Both did their job, and you got to make a tackle in space in 9-man football, and he did just that.
Rayshawn Earl, as the Pirates will quickly get to the line here, back in that shotgun formation. Second down and a long 9 upcoming here as Rayshawn Earl will step up. T-Ceiling playing a little spy of the quarterback here as Rayshawn Earl will take a little pop on the outside by Kobe Wisniewski to about the 42-yard line here, as that'll be a gain of 8 yards.
Brings up a really important down here to begin. I'm assuming they're already in 4-down territory, being across the 50, but they are going real quick here to start the second half.
Make that a gain of 7 yards on the play for Earl. 6 carries for 89. Shotgun formation. Earl's going to step up again. Evades one Raider. Evades another. T-Ceiling trying to bring him down. Rayshawn has the first down to the 32, maybe the 31, depending on where he went out of bounds. They'll give him the 31 for a gain of 10 yards.
Earl must have had a gigantic smile on his face facing you there when that D-end on that side, Thompson, duck inside. And as soon as he saw him duck inside, he knew he had the corner, he had the first down.
This Hankinson Pirates team, they are quickly getting to the line. Adjustment to at least start the second half here is let's pick up the tempo against this Raiders defense. Rayshawn Earl will handle it here. Looking, has all time and space here. Rayshawn Earl still looking, has a man in the boundary, pops it past the outside, caught by Hentz to the 25-20 as he's pushed out of bounds. Hentz able to get 11 yards on the pitch and catch, first down, and right now Rayshawn Earl has all eternity to throw the football.
Yeah, that's where, if you're coaching the D lineman, you're telling them to stop playing patty cake with the offensive line. You got to make a pass rush move. You can't just keep, clapping hands with them. You got to do something to try to put some pressure on him there. If you're only going to bring 3, they got to get there.
Ball goes out of bounds, stops the clock at 11:03 remaining here in the third quarter as the Pirates with Rayshawn Earl will send 4 out in the pattern yet again. Maple River, good job to cover it initially. Rayshawn making a play, pops the pass, has a man, cut, and there's the record breaker. Rayshawn Earl finds a man. That's Parker Folk for 20 yards and the new single season passing touchdown record in Hankinson history belongs to Rayshawn Earl.
Yeah, congratulations to him. That is a big-time achievement for them. They have quite the history and quite the program down in Hankinson, so to be able to break any type of record is impressive. But, great job by the Hankinson 3 up front, just completely neutralizing the defensive line. If you're not going to bring pressure, those three, like I said in the last play, have got to bring a little bit of heat.
We're tied at 22 apiece, 2-point conversion upcoming. Rayshon Earl now with 22 passing touchdowns on the season, breaks Mason Falk's record of 21. Play action, Earl, he's going to have a chance to throw the football, but eventually gets taken down by the senior, Dylan Zahn. It's 22-all, under 11 minutes to play in the third quarter at Hope.
Are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Congrats again goes to Rayshon Earl. He still has a year to make the offensive coordinators wake up late at night and have some nightmares with plays like that here. Just the junior, 22 passing touchdowns. He needs 4 more touchdowns, make that 3 more touchdowns, and he would be the all-time touchdown record breaker all-time in Hankinson history as well. And if he gets there today, Hoots, with how this game's been going back and forth, we've seen Silly now over 2,000 yards on the year. Rayshon, this has been just a heavyweight bout between these two. I know there's other guys, but these two players in Silly and Earl have really put on a show.
You'd love to see in big moments your best players show up to play and really respond. But let's not overshadow the adjustment that Hankinson made in that first half, or from the first half to right now, going up tempo, forcing a team that plays man to have to match up after every play can be troubling, especially if you go from 2x2 to 3x1 to 4x0 as they've shown. It puts a lot of stress on the defense.
As that goes 1 minute, 8 seconds off the clock, 49 yards on the drive, and this one's going to be a little pooch to Martin yet again. Martin will handle the football, gets the numbers. Martin right in front of us gets taken down by a couple of Pirates on the play, including Cade Hentz, and alongside with him and the freshman Tyson Falk.
I think they're just going to keep kicking it at him, because as soon as he catches it, he runs straight to the sideline. You have got to put your foot in the ground, go straight upfield, get 3 or 4 yards. But that's better than 0. He's got to stop running sideways.
Ball will be at the 39-yard line here. First possession of the second half for Maple River, going back to Hankinson on their possessions. A touchdown, touchdown, punt, punt, TD for the Raiders. Touchdown, touchdown, punt, TD half. Again, their first possession of this second half of play, and we'll see if it's a lot more T-Silling left, T-Silling right. Until someone stops it. He's already had 20 rushes on the day for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns. First down and 10 upcoming. Hankinson with 3 down linemen, 2 at the edge spot here, and I think we had a man to flinch for a penalty. This will be the 5th one of the game, and we will have a false start.
Yeah, 2 guys in motion at the same time. It would have been nice to see him slow down, reset, get everybody back, and then run the play.
Our officials here today, the referee, Chris Larson, wearing the white hat. Ryan Weber, the umpire, with Cam Hernandez, the head linesman. Line judge of Jacob Schlecht, and Nick Nelson, the back judge. I'd like to talk with Ryan Weber about hoops, trying to guard certain players as well as Sargent County. Hankinson obviously put on a show in Valley City at the Bubble. And I was thinking the Raider Dome, but that was Tower City. And obviously 2 programs who feel like they got a chance to make some noise this season in basketball. First down and now 15 upcoming, as this will be a handoff to Dowse. Dowse gets to a little crease to the 40, gets the yardage back and some. Eventually gets about a gain of 7. Hankinson with Benson on the tackle, and they will mark him at the 40 for a gain of 6.
Yeah, now you're back in second and manageable. No big deal. I think you're pretty much back at the original line of scrimmage, maybe a plus yard. Now you can run pretty much everything you want. And there's not many down and distances for the Raiders that you don't run what you want.
This could be also a tortoise in the hare, right, in terms of what Hankinson might want to do offensively going forward and what Maple River does here going forward. Second down and 9. Maple River trying to minimize possessions in this game. They did it really well in the first half. I formation, T-Silling trying to keep it to the outside. Silling gets the 45 and close to the line to gain at the 49-yard line. Handful of tacklers there with Hernandez being part of it. That checks the sophomore, and they're going to make it close, and we might get our first chain gang of the season. We'll see.
Yes.
And they will bring out the chains for the first time. I'm going to give that to Nathan Hoots for our announcer's jinx. I know people say I don't believe it, Hoots. I personally don't. I'm with Corey Provis. We're announcers. We're here to bring you notes, stats, and game
I'm
action.
just presenting facts.
But there you go. That's what I'm saying. See, you're presenting facts. Now, when Jim Nance on Thanksgiving says the Detroit kicker hasn't missed a field goal in his career from, under 30 yards and he shanks it, then obviously the announcer's jinx comes along. So that'll be a gain of 8 and bring a third down and short.
Oh, shame on the officials for making him come out that far. They were a good 2 feet short. Come on now.
21 carries for 227 yards. I will say this, though, in a playoff game, you want to make sure you get it right. You want to make sure you get that one right. So it'll be third down and short upcoming. You can say that, Hoots, as a basketball head coach. So you can kind of get on the officials.
Yeah,
as a broadcasters, we just like to say everyone does their job properly.
Yep.
Now Tom Brady's in a different boat, but that's a different conversation.
Multiple different boats.
National Football League. Third down and 1 upcoming. Silling, little read option play, has a crease to the 40. Silling to the 30. Stiff arm to the 25, and he's taken down there by Blado.
Real good play, a little misdirection. They've run that fly sweep with Dow's probably 3 or 4 times already today. Fake that one, clear one guy out of the box, and then get Silling going downhill as quickly as possible.
So 27 yards, give him now 254 yards rushing on the afternoon here on 22 attempts. And the clock here at 9:30 and counting on their City of Hope scoreboard in this third quarter. Winner has a date with number 1 Lemoore Litchfield Marion down in Lemoore next Saturday, as this will be a wishbone formation here. Brendan Anderson is at the fullback spot. Silling goes under center. Silling, handoff, gives it to Dow's, and he gets stuck but gets out of a tackle eventually. Dow's able to get about 2 yards on the play to make it 2nd and 8.
It's the first time there wasn't exactly clean in the backfield running that counter. The first couple of times they've run it, and they've really gotten Dow's going, almost full speed when he's touching the ball. And that time there was I don't know if there was a little miscommunication or just, timing got mixed up a bit.
As we'll bring up a second down upcoming here, and this is just the difference. It's, I think, when Hankinson has the ball moving forward, we will see that little sugar no huddle or just the straight no huddle, where Maple River, T. Silling runs to Larry Fontaine or whoever on the sideline, gets a little breather, runs back in, gets the play call, and then gets to a line with about 10 seconds left on the play clock. As they will go back under center one more time. Silling hands this one off to Dow's to left-handed side, and a good wrap right in the middle with Cade Hintz. The sophomore came in with 11 tackles for a loss, and he just adds another one there for a loss of 2.
Yeah, real good fill there. I think they're kind of selling out on that counter now whenever they see wishbone. I think the only 2 plays they're truly going to run out of that right now is counter to Dow's or some type of a sweep with Silling. So they can kind of sell out on those 2 spots, make sure you got the outside filled by your end and your safety and your outside backer, and then everything on the opposite side is filled by that counter.
Third down and 10 upcoming here for the Maple River Raiders, as they will need the Pirates' 15-yard line. Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining here in this second half. Maple River hustles to the line as they will get under center on the I formation. This is where we've seen Silling kind of have that little bobsled play out in front. They're trying it again. And the Hankinson Pirates, this one, is it going to be a horse collar? No. The Hankinson Pirates able to get there with Mason Malk, the junior, got his left hand on the back of Silling, but it was not egregious enough for a horse collar, but it is a tackle for a loss of 3.
I think that is the definition of a horse collar. He got it inside of the back shoulder pads and pulled him down, buckled the knees, which is exactly what you're trying to take out of the game. He didn't do it on purpose, but that's got to be penalized.
As it's now a 4th down and 13 upcoming here. So for Maple River, 4th and long, Hankinson a chance defensively to get off the football field here with a stick. Silling getting pressured. Silling rolling right-handed side, pops a pass, throws, and that'll be incomplete for the intended receiver of Wisniewski, and it's a turnover on downs.
That's a big-time stop there for Hankinson. The way that they came out and moved the ball in that first possession to give up 20-plus yards, and then, one negative play for the Raiders turns into a drive stopper. But great job by them getting off the field on 4th down.
One thing here today, Hoots, it's been a 1-score game throughout. We haven't seen a team get up by 2 scores, and that has continued into the start of this second half. But for the most part, Maple River's kind of played with the lead a little bit, and now the Hankinson Pirates will have a chance to try to take the lead here on this offensive drive. As Rayshawn Earl will come out in the shotgun formation. Earl looking for a pass, finds one. Parker Falk on the outside, makes a stick at the 30, and Falk gets to about the 32 on the play on that little outside action for a gain of 4.
You know, and if they decide to run the ball in between the tight ends here, they really have a numbers advantage. You know, if they go 3 guys in the backfield, it's 7 on 4.5, 7 on 5 right now. That's a big advantage.
As you will have with Hintz and Hernandez in the backfield with Rayshawn Earl. Little delayed option here. Earl's going to get stuck by Dowse, but he bades out of that tackle, and Earl makes his way to the 40, has the first down and some here for the Hankinson Pirates. It's a solid gain of 9 yards.
It's not too often a Larry Fontaine team is outnumbered in the box, but they are right now, and you know, they're going to just try to bait those Raiders safeties to keep coming up and coming up and coming up, and then 87 is going to hit them on some type of a post or some type of a route that goes across the middle.
9, make that 8 carries for 105 yards for Rayshawn Earl. He does have a 75-yard rushing touchdown earlier in the first half. Rayshawn Earl evades a sack, rolls right-hand side. Earl looking for some distance, has it to the 45, close to the line to gain, and smartly gets out of bounds. He will be a yard shy at midfield.
He puts so many defensive players in just a position where they feel like they're in a lose-lose. They got to, you know, they're playing man, so they got to guard the guy that they have. But as soon as he rolls out, they got to make a decision. Am I coming up and defending the passer, or am I staying on my guy? And both of the DBs on this side decided to stay with their receiver.
Second and short. Rayshawn will hand this ball off to Hintz. Hintz gets the first down and some, eventually getting taken down by Jonah Thompson. He will get to about the 47-yard line for a gain of a long 3.
They just have one key word. You hear one key word and everybody runs to a spot. It's impressive how well schooled they are here.
One thing going to that on the next play, we'll talk about what Jason Moneylaw said earlier. Here's a quick little screen on the near sideline here. That's going to be caught by Parker Falk, and Parker Falk weaving his way to the first down, close at the 37-yard line. They'll mark it shy for a gain of 9.
All right, so mark it down. If you hear SpongeBob anymore, you know you're seeing bubble out to the side that you're on. So SpongeBob bubble screen.
So one thing Jason Moneylaw said, they wanted to minimize the offense in different ways. They wanted about 15 concepts in a multitude of different formations. They're going for the deep ball down the field to Hernandez, caught at the 5. It's a gain of 35 on the play.
Earl does such a nice job of just kind of a feathery touch and just trusting his guy. I'm going to throw it up. It's going to kind of be a 50-50 ball, and I'm going to trust that you're going to come down with it. And you know what? They're coming down with it right now.
132 yards passing for Rayshawn Earl as they quickly get to line. First and goal, ball spotted at the 5-yard line. Handoff goes to Hintz. He's sealing in on the tackle as it goes back to the original line at the 5.
I can barely even get set down here, and they're already getting ready to snap it.
Well, that's the one thing Coach Moneylaw said he felt like they did a little bit too much offensively for formations, so he wanted about a handful of formations but run in multitude of sets to keep it as simple as they could be for the offense, and it's obviously worked for the Pirates this season. Rayshawn Earl rolling, trying to make a backyard play, pops the pass into the end zone, wide open, score! It's another passing touchdown, this one to Parker Falk, and the Pirates lead it by 6.
I think he could have fair caught that one. He was so wide open. That was some type of a busted coverage. Definitely had guys in the wrong position there. This is going to be a big stop here. They need something positive to happen. Nothing positive has happened yet this third quarter for the Raiders.
No, well, the thing there, Hoots, was when Rayshawn broke contain, the guy that was guarding, so to speak, Falk came to try to get Rayshawn, and then that's where the numbers game to what you said. You got to make a play defensively. He went to Rayshawn. Rayshawn then just easily able to make the passes. Earl trying to get into the end zone for the 2 points, and he does. It's the largest lead of the game for the Pirates as they lead it by 8. 4:42 left in the third here on our City of Hope scoreboard.
Lakes Community Co-op delivers more than just propane into a tank. They deliver a commitment to customer safety with professional, knowledgeable service. Lakes Community Co-op propane customers can relax because having a monitored tank allows Lakes Community Co-op to know tank levels and therefore make timely deliveries. This takes away all your worries. Call 1-888-935-2281 for propane from Lakes Community Co-op. For more information, visit lakescommunitycoop.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
High school football here today in Hope on YourLiveEvent.com. 30-22 so far for Hankinson. 2 possessions, 2 scores in this second half of play for the Pirates. That one able to go 72 yards after the turnover on downs. Takes 2 minutes and 16 seconds off the clock as Maple River will have an opportunity with the second possession of the second half with their largest deficit down by 8. There's a deep kick to Bosch at the 24-yard line. Bosch gets to the 35, and Bosch then is going to roll out of a tackle to the 40 and eventually taken down at the 41-yard line.
Be interesting to see how he hops up after that, if he's going to be any type of a playmaker here in this second half. They haven't given him the ball quite yet. It'd be nice to see him, even that speed option they run has been so effective. They've kind of sold out on making sure that Bosch doesn't get that pitch, which has allowed some rushing yards for Silling.
And here's been the, so to speak, what's the adjustments as this one continues here today on YourLiveEvent.com for both of these teams, and we'll get to some finals that are trickling in across the state of North Dakota as well in 9-man football. We saw Maple River go more to the tight action. This time they will spread things out. Twins both right and left here as Silling is in the gun. Silling going to keep it. Silling getting into the boundary at the numbers. Silling stiff arms him out of the 45, and Silling gets to midfield and close to the line of game. They will give him 10 and a first down.
Yeah, good start. Bosch had a good angle on a guy, but just can't push off on that ankle. If he could have made that block, I think we could have been going for 2 after this play. But, the box count allowed him to run the ball, and it shouldn't be just walk up. If it's 5-on-4, run the football. And I know they're going to run it no matter what, but just keep hammering them. I would stay in this spread formation and just allow them to keep, just attacking space.
Final in Wymer, the Warbirds win it over Mayport CG 48-30 as the Warbirds will be heading to Griggs Dakota coming up next Saturday. As you'll have a motion right to left for Dowse. Here comes Silling up the middle. Silling gets to about the 45 for a gain of 4.
It was nice to see that play. They haven't run that yet this year out of that formation that I can remember at least. Typically they're running quarterback power or some type of a counter, and right there, it was that fake dive to Bosch, and then they had that pulling guard and the pulling backside wing, you'd probably call him on that play. And just a little different look, allow him to get a couple yards here and keep trying to move the sticks.
Also a final, Mulhall-Lansford Sherwood defeats Tioga 14-10. MLS will go to South Prairie Max upcoming next week as well. Second down and 6, 3 games final, 5 games still going here as that one goes to the hands of Silling, who gets back on the ball, but that's going to be a big loss here for Maple River.
Yeah, you'd like to think they'd at least get back to the line of scrimmage, make it 3rd and 6, but now it's going to be 3rd and 13. You still got it's 4-down territory, and the way your defense has been playing, you're probably going for it no matter what. But you got to get something positive here on this 3rd down.
So 3rd down and long upcoming here for the Raiders. So far for T. Silling and company, 1 of 3 passing on the day. They've got a lot of rushes here in the first half. They ran the ball 28 times, did Maple River, and so far added 9 more to that in the second half. Shotgun formation. Silling steps up. Silling rolling. Silling looking for a little bit of daylight. Gets past the 50 to about the 49. Gets a handful of that yardage back for a gain of 4. Makes it, though, 4th and a long 10.
You could argue this is possibly the biggest play of the game thus far right here. This is a big-time 4th down. Do you throw the ball here? Do you have any play that you'd like? I doubt it. You're probably doing some type of a funky, maybe that reverse pass if you're going to throw it, but it's got to be something that Silling's making a decision.
I like what Hankinson has done defensively here a little bit more, really putting more of an emphasis to keep Silling as best as he can in, so to speak, between the tackles or the tight ends when they're lined up on a tight formation like they are here on a wishbone. Silling rolling, left-handed side looking to the boundary. Silling off his back foot. This will be incomplete. He had both Anderson and Bosch on the outside. They both eventually stopped as they were trying to get one in the flat, and one maybe more on about 10 yards off the field. By the time Silling put the back foot in the ground, Hoots, they both stopped. An incomplete pass, but if they make the reception there would have been some daylight.
Yeah, but biggest play of the game in a playoff game, when you are 10 weeks from the beginning of the season, you cannot have two receivers in the same location on that type of a play. They have got to know what depth are on those routes.
Hankinson is kind of looking to put the game in their hands if they can get a touchdown here. There's a stick by Stilling, but then it's going to be a Hintz play going down to the 35. Stilling looked like he was going to come in on a stick. Instead, it will be a first down of a gain of 15.
You're starting to feel a little tension on the sideline over here, and you can see it in the middle of the field. They know they need to get a stop here. As you said, the tortoise and the hare. If I remember that story correctly, the tortoise had a big lead and held on, correct?
Oh,
tortoise can't play from behind.
And all of a sudden now, if you're the Hankinson Pirates, 2 possessions, 2 turnover on downs defensively, 2 possessions, 2 scores, trying to make it a third. Rayshon down the middle, has a man caught at the 10, to the 5, end zone, touchdown Pirates. It's to Blado for his second reception of the contest that goes for a house call. This one from 36 yards, and just like that, Hankinson leads by 2 scores.
Seems like whenever the Pirates run some type of a short concept, the Raiders do a real nice job defending it, but as soon as something goes long, the longer the type of run or route they run, the more separation they have.
173 yards passing for Rayshon Earl, his third passing touchdown here of the second half, his 4th of the contest here. And just like that, the Pirates and Rayshon Earl going for 2 as they lead it by 14. It's going to be an I formation. Earl goes under center. Earl going to keep it, trying to bounce to the outside. Earl makes a man miss, and Silling takes him down as the 2-point conversion is no good. But the damage is done for Hankinson as the Pirates now lead at 36-22 on the City of Hope scoreboard.
We offer the greatest broadband that anyone can subscribe to. And that's because of the infrastructure that we have been able to build over the last decade. We're talking 10 gigabit per customer. That's the network we're building. There's days I think about, what's the network going to be after I retire? Where it continues to evolve, and if it evolves as much as what it has in the last 73 years, we can't even dream what it's going to be in the future.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors on their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
Rayshon Earl now has tied the school record for the all-time touchdowns. He's 1 away from breaking it here today. It's been a lot of Earl, obviously, here for the Pirates, but a couple of plays that have gone for a touchdown to Blado, a 45 and 36 yards to the air as well. Matt Blado now 2 receptions for 81 yards, 2 scores. Not too much time comes off the clock there on just a couple of plays. They're able to go 40, 51 yards on the drive. Carter Bosch at the 15-yard line here for the Raiders. Bosch gets to the 30-yard line, to the 35, and eventually taken down, and a flag does come out at the 38-yard line. And in a playoff game with 13-plus minutes remaining, the way this one has gone and the way how Maple River has ran their offense, this almost has the feeling of a must-score drive here for the Raiders, as the Hankinson Pirates will see Maple River commit a holding penalty, the 6th penalty of the game for Maple River. This will be now a 40 yards.
Yeah, your feeling is definitely correct. They cannot afford to not score on this possession. They got to get it back down to 8 points. It's almost a must score, and they need a stop. They haven't gotten one in a while. I don't know the last time they got a stop, but it seems like it's been quite some time.
As for the Pirates, it's been 3 consecutive drives here of the second half with touchdowns, while for the Raiders, it's been 2 drives and turnover on downs. Preston Dow's, there's a potential face mask here. Nothing was called, as Dow's then able to keep the pile moving for about a gain of 5. We did see Dow's have to readjust the face mask for a moment, so it might have been a friendly fire one, but regardless, it's a gain of about 5 yards here for Dow's.
That was a good hard run there, but a lot of energy expended on that play. He is unlikely to get you much on this next possession or this next snap here, so you're likely seeing some type of a ceiling run.
Maple River, 4 wins, 4 losses on the season. Hankinson at 6-2. Raiders 2 years ago on this very field defeated Richland to get to the second round of the 9-man playoffs in their first year as a co-op. Hankinson looking for their first playoff win since 2017. They did make the playoffs last year, losing in the first round to New Rockford Cheyenne. A little bit of the bobsled play here for T. Silling. Silling gets the outside 40, and a shoestring tackle by Andrew Jean at the 43. If Jean doesn't make that tackle, Silling is still running.
I feel like you've had to say that quite a bit from your perch up there. A shoestring tackle several times on Earl and several times now on Silling, but it doesn't matter how pretty it looks. You just got to take them down. It's exciting they got that first down. That's great. But if you're Hankinson, I think every single time the ball stays in the middle of the field from now until that buzzer goes off, you're probably happy.
Could be the final play of this third quarter as well. And we've seen Maple River try to have those explosive plays, but Hankinson, as you alluded to, you'll give up the 10 yards, 13 yards, but not the 50, 60-yard variety here and force the Raiders to keep having to wheel and deal here offensively. Here's a handoff. This goes to Dowds. Dowds gets to midfield here before he's taken down for about 7 yards. Hintz and Parker Falk in on the tackle, and it's going to be the final play of the third quarter. After 3 quarters of play here in Hope, it's the Maple River Raiders, 22 with the ball. The Hankinson Pirates with the lead at 36 on the City Hope scoreboard on your liveevent.com.
There was an idea
to bring together a group of remarkable people.
So when they needed us, the call is answered.
We need to get the right protection to as many people as we can.
We need to protect as many as we can.
We will.
We don't give up. Get the right protection for your lifestyle. Go to IRIinsurance.com to get a free quote and consultation.
If you're ready for a great meal, head over to West Main Pizza in Ada and Dilworth. They have a variety of pizzas like Supreme, Barbecue Chicken, The Reuben, Grandma G's Sloppy Joe, BLT, Hawaiian, Vegetarian, and more. West Main Pizza also serves nachos and tacos, great pasta dishes, panini sandwiches, subs, and salads. West Main Pizza at 320 East Main Street in Ada and 111 15th Street Northeast in Dilworth. Check them out online at westmainpizza.net.
Thank you all for watching throughout the course of the regular season and the postseason here. And make sure you patronize all those sponsors that you see on screen here. Earlier today, the Warbirds of Weimar Lidgewood, Scott Stringy and the crew, able to take down Adam Sola and the Mayport CG Patriots. A good game till the mid part of the fourth quarter where Warbirds kind of put the game away. Here, it has been a doozy. At the half, it was back and forth. Maple River 22-16 at the half over Hankinson. The Pirates, though, have come out guns a-blazing in this third quarter, and we'll see if it continues into the fourth. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Brady Siebel's with you for the final 12 minutes of this regulation playoff football game as Dow's spins. You had Hernandez, you had Parker Falk there. You also had Jean and Furch, and Dow's does get about a yard, maybe 2, make it 3rd and 1.
I've had a lot of Dow's kind of featured here on this possession, which is good. He's getting positive yards, limiting the home run potential right now. As you know, a little bit of postseason baseball talk here, but Hankinson's going to give up singles all fourth quarter. As long as there isn't a home run, they're going to be just fine, keeping everything inside the numbers. Any type of single that the Raiders want to hit, the Pirates are going to give it to them.
And Maple River with 2-score deficit. Time obviously not the friend of them currently right now. Wishbone formation, fullback trap play. Anderson trying to get a yard, can't do it. Good job defensively by Furch to start the pile, and then Cade Hintz finishes him off, makes it a 4th and 1. And here's the 4th, and feels like the ball game upcoming.
That's a tough look from the officials when they don't sprint in and mark that ball in this big of a play in the 4th down. They really need to run in there and sell that spot. He took about 2 steps in. He's got to get in there and really sell it.
4th down upcoming, so after the fullback trap goes nowhere here, where does Maple River go on a 4th down opportunity as they've gotten about 2.5 yards and already 80 seconds have came off the clock to what Nathan Hoots alluded to. Hankinson keeps everything in front of them here. They're fine to give up these 5 yards, half-yard plays.
This is definitely fake to 5. 9 keeps it up the middle, get the first down. Got to move faster, though.
Hankinson with 3 down linemen. That's been a change from what the first half was, where it was just kind of 2. Silling trying to get to the edge, able to get to the edge. He does get the first down past the 45 as he gets the 44-yard line for a gain of 5. Parker Folk in on the tackle.
You don't want to get chaotic here, but there is zero urgency right now. The way you move the ball as a Raider offense right now is, 5-6 minute drives. And if you do the math right now, you're lucky if you're going to get one more after this. So you got to be careful. You got to start picking up the tempo. I don't know if, the play caller's got to come out and, meet the guy that's bringing the play in, halfway there, but it's got to be faster. You can't keep taking 30 seconds off every play.
Hankinson and Maple River do have all 3 timeouts respectively here, but the clock already under 10 minutes in this fourth quarter. Dowse gets past the 40. Good open field tackle by Parker Falk. Something Jason Moneylaw said earlier in the week is Parker Falk knows how to work, and Hoots, we're seeing that both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, he's a real good tackler. He seems like he's kind of in the middle of it all the time, which you love. Any type of player that loves to be in the middle of all of the chaos is a guy that I'll go to battle with any day. 2nd down and 6, so there's the good for Maple River. You get to 2nd and 6, but the bad is every time you're running a play, about 30 seconds nearly comes off the clock right now, and what is a must-score situation here at this time of the game. Dowse, a little misdirection play, able to get a couple more yards. You get 2 or 3, but there's another tackle, this time by Mason Mauk for the Pirates. This is the type of drive and the tempo you want if you're up by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to keep saying it, they got to pick up this tempo here. We're already under 9 minutes and you're down 2 scores.
The difference in the game has been the start of this second half and now into the fourth quarter. The Pirates with 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Maple River 2 possessions, 2 turnover on downs. We'll see what this third possession of the second half is. This is just the Raiders' 8th possession of the game. Shotgun formation, 3rd down and manageable here. T. Silling able to get the first down close to the line. He needed the 34, and they'll give him the 33.5 for about a gain of 4.
That was much better. That official sprinted out about 10 yards out on the field, sold it with his foot. That's what we want to see.
Here's the question, when does Maple River throw? And I'm just saying it, Hoots, because they've only thrown the ball 4 times today. They really haven't wanted to throw. They did it one time on a trick play, and it went right through the hands of Kobe Wisniewski. That would have been a 45-yard touchdown. But at the end of the day, when do you start throwing the football, even though your mentality all season has been to ground the game out on the ground?
You might have to take a chance every 3 or 4 plays here, especially, now we're under 8 minutes, and they just keep slowly moving the ball down the field.
As the shadows are slowly coming into play from those lights here in Hope. Here's a play. That'll be a pass. That'll go outside to Anderson. Anderson gets past the 30, close to the 27-yard line for a gain of 7.
Okay, good play, but you can just see the Pirates are very, very content with giving up all of this. Butts are facing the sideline going, yeah, if you want to come over here, that's fine, but you aren't getting out of bounds, and we're going to do our best to make sure that you're short of the line of game.
And to your point, Hoots, this drive started with 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the third quarter, and look how much time has already came off here in the fourth quarter.
Where did they start? They're only at the 27-yard line. They got a long way to go.
They started at the other 27 run on cue.
So they got 46 yards, and it's taken 7 minutes. That's not good right now.
Wisniewski goes to the outside I formation here with the receiver on the far side, which is something we don't see too often, as Wisniewski now will quickly hustle back in, looking to see what the potential play or what formation that Hankinson will give him. Silling going to roll to the outside. Silling trying to get to the boundary. Silling makes the cut, gets to the 20. T. Silling with a stiff arm at the 10, and Silling makes his way close to the 5-yard line.
All right, that's a little shot in the arm they needed here. Now they need to score within the next couple of plays here. They cannot allow this. They're running one play every minute right now. Every time I look up, it is, okay, we're under 9, we're under 8, we're under 7. They're running one play every minute.
3:04 for Silling on the ground here today. 30 carries. Make that 31 carries on the way here for Silling. As Silling, shotgun formation, going to keep this one. Silling has a little bit of daylight into the end zone for the score. It's 26. Make that 28 points now for Maple River. It's a 5-yard rushing touchdown for Silling, and it's a 1-score contest.
All right, there was a little more sense of urgency there in the last couple of plays. now it's okay, got to get off the field here, get this 2-point conversion first, and then got to get off the field within a couple minutes and then get into your offense again.
So 32 carries now for 309 yards. Another rushing touchdown for Silling. That's his 4th of the game. 2-point conversion to make it a 1-score game. And Hankinson's going to be interesting, Hoots. They've gone to that no huddle. We'll see if that continues here in this 4th quarter, trying to maybe milk the game away, or if you keep the gas, so to speak, pedal moving down on the floorboard. But it's a 2-point conversion here for the Raiders to try to make it a 6-point game. T. Silling has a little bit of a lane. Silling in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Raiders back within 6 with just over 6 minutes to play here on YourLiveEvent.com.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
High school football here today on YourLiveEvent.com, and a drive that takes over 7 minutes. 7 minutes and 27 seconds come off the clock. It does go for a house call, 73 yards. Silling with the rushing touchdown. That'll be his 5th score of the contest here for the Maple River Raiders as Silling gets it in for the end zone, and it's a 36-30 ball game here as Maple River will put this one on the tee. Their 3rd possession of the second half finally gets in the end zone. McCulloch will put this one. This will be a line drive kick. The ball was live, but getting right back on it here for Hankinson is Gunnar Ilg. Ilg eventually caught the ball for a second, went off his hands there, Hoots, and then did a really good job of relocating the ball, because if he misses it going down to the turf, Maple River was right there to pounce on it.
Those big guys up front aren't supposed to have great hands, but they have secured every one of those wonky kicks here this entire game. Now it's going to be interesting because they have scored every possession this half, correct?
Correct.
And they've gone up tempo the whole half, correct?
Correct.
So what do you do here?
That's the old question. Tempo, do you try to slow it down? Both teams with 3 timeouts. Low snap, Rayshawn Earl, quick screen to the boundary. That one goes to Falk. Falk makes a man miss, 45. Falk gets to the first down, spins. Oh, what a move to the 40. And Falk gets taken down eventually at about the 38-yard line.
Oh, got a real late flag, real late.
So 14 yards here to Parker Falk, his 7th catch for 62 yards. I personally did not see what the play would be, but normally it's after the play, personal foul.
Oh, they had a face
and we'll
mask.
have a face mask on Maple River, and that's a 15-yard variety as well. So you add 14 plus 15, there's 29 yards on one play here for the Pirates.
Not arguing with the call. It may have been the right call. It's just odd. It was a good 3 or 4 seconds after the play was done. And typically when that white hat's thrown, it's usually holding. Not that there's anything wrong with the call that he made.
Yep. As the Hankinson Pirates will handle the football here as they quickly get to the line. Clock continues to wind. 2 wide receivers to left-handed side. Rayshawn Earl in the gun with Hernandez and Hintz. Hernandez to the right of him. Hintz to the left, and now Rayshawn taking some time as Mason Malk to center. And we'll have a false start. Was it defensive end or was it the running back?
That's gonna be interesting. Oh, they're pointing us.
We'll see, because Dylan Zahn came across the line. It will be encroachment. Hernandez did jump, but that one will be on Dylan Zahn on the encroachment, and a couple of tough penalties here if you're the Raiders, because you can ill afford to give up a touchdown here.
Yeah, this has been tough. They haven't really made him earn it, and they could run another 40 seconds here if they wanted. They decide to go fast.
Earl, play action, going down the middle to Gene, wide open, touchdown, Hankinson. Rayshawn Earl with the pass to Andrew Gene, and it's 42-30.
Yeah, I guess you go fast if you're going to have guys that wide open. Just one guy out of position causes – you got to get a big stop here, though.
Gene's first receiving touchdown of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passing touchdowns for Rayshawn Earl, and he has another one as well on the ground. Rayshawn Earl now as the all-time touchdowns record holder here for the Hankinson Pirates. He needed 6, and he's got 6 here today, and he wears number 6. Rayshawn Earl looking, weaving, passing. This one incomplete for the 2-point conversion. Not a lot of time comes off the clock. However, it is a 2-possession game as the Pirates lead it by 12 here on your liveevent.com.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need an expert who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country. Experts in every field.
RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer in Hillsboro, is now Agassiz Precision Ag.
RDK 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 is now Agassiz Precision Ag. You heard that right. RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer in Hillsboro, is now Agassiz Precision Ag. Same location, employees, and customer service you deserve. Visit us at planterdoc.com.
High school football here today on yourliveevent.com. The Hankinson Pirates 5 minutes and 46 seconds away from their first playoff win since 2017 when they won a game over North Border, eventually then losing to the Imperials of Napoleon Gackle-Streeter then in the second round. That was the year after Cody Malkin, senior class, lost to Shiloh Christian out in Bismarck in the state quarterfinals. This one will be on the tee by Blado. End over end kick that'll be picked up by Warren at the 25-yard line, and Warren gets stuck at the 35.
Warren on the return, brought down by number 3, Tyson Fall.
Well, Maple River, they haven't shown the pace, but obviously Hoots with 3 timeouts, 5:41 left to play. You got to score a touchdown here to make it a 1-possession game. Don't need to worry about the 2 points, obviously, but you got to score with enough time to either get a 3-and-out, get the ball back with timeouts, or at least get an onside kick, recover, and then take a shot down the field.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We're going to find out here in the next 5.5 minutes if they've practiced any type of no-huddle to get the plays in a little quicker and move a little faster.
Shotgun for Silling, steps up, fires, throws, goes to the boundary here. This one be caught to about the 38-yard line as this one will go to Thompson for his first catch of the afternoon, and they will make it at the 30, about 9.
Probably not as great of a catch as the face mask catch by the Giants receiver against the Patriots back in the day, but the same result right here. Got him right in the face mask, almost little Giants-esque, got it stuck in the face mask there.
Maple River not going all the way from the far side to get the play, then coming back as it's a little bit quicker of tempo pace right now, down by 2 scores. Shotgun formation here as you got Anderson lining up on the left-hand side of Silling. Silling, delayed draw. Silling gets through the first little wave, but Hankinson does a good job corralling him for a gain of 3.
Yeah, now they're sending a sub in every play. So they're rotating in a receiver, and the receiver that is out is bringing that play call in. Just a way to get you're probably saving 20 seconds every play by doing that. And if you have an adequate sub, that's the right thing to do.
As now it's a 3rd down upcoming here. Hankinson trying to get to a 4th down, get a stop, and feel like they can make the playoffs here. Maple River still alive, but they need the 1st down to keep this one going here. Here's the end-around reverse. Eventually goes to Dow's. Dow's then going to get stuck in open spaces, and coming up is going to be Hintz for the tackle.
Yeah, that was a really good play and a big-time moment right there.
And we got a timeout for Larry Fontaine. We'll keep it here on yourliveevent.com. If Hintz doesn't make that tackle in open space, Dow's has the 1st down bare minimum, but instead it almost feels like a 4th and the season play upcoming here for the Raiders. So what do you run? Where Hankinson Hoots from the first half, 2 down linemen, 2 defensive ends, in this second half, it's been 3 down linemen with kind of that end outside linebacker where they put 5 guys on the line, and that's been a big change here defensively for the Hankinson Pirates and Coach Moneylaws.
If I'm Coach Fontaine, I don't sleep well tonight if I give the ball to anyone other than T. Silling on this play. And if I'm Coach Moneylaws, I'm going down going, if you're going to give it to anybody else, that's fine. I am not letting 9 beat me on this play. If they give it to somebody else and he gets 40 yards, that's fine. But you got to make sure that the best player on the other team does not beat you on this play.
High school football here tonight. First time out for the Maple River Raiders. They will have 2 remaining. Coach Fontaine trying to get his kids to get the set and the formation they want. Well, if you're Coach Moneylaws, as we alluded to, the game's not over if you make the stop, but it feels like everything has gone their way this second half, and you can try to milk this game away with your offense up by 2 possessions. As they will come out I formation here for Silling, a 4x4 front. Silling, QB keeper. Silling bounces out of a tackle. Silling gets to 15, stiff arms a man and taken down at about the 44-yard line.
Hey, that was a big-time play right there. You go to the bobsled in the biggest moment of the game, get that first down, pick up this tempo, bringing in that sub again with the play call. Try to get it every 25 seconds. That would be a lot more efficient.
327 yards on the ground for Silling, 34 carries. He has 5 rushing touchdowns on the game. Under 4 minutes to play, Maple River has to get to the line quickly here as you got Carter Bosch in the backfield. Preston Downs lines up at tight end. They're looking for Dowsier down the field. This one's going to be picked up by Rayshawn Earl, his 7th interception of the season, and this one might send the Pirates to Lemoore.
Yeah, they did a good job of, they tried to sneak both those tight ends down the seams, and they talked about it in the pregame. We got to have good eye discipline. You cannot allow the boring run get to us, and you got to be ready for the pass, and they had multiple guys around the football.
Rayshawn Earl has put his thumbprints all over this football game. 6 touchdowns, an interception as well, and now the Hankinson Pirates are 345 for having a date with top-ranked Lemoore Litchfield-Marion later on here next week. Good defense. He kind of switched it up there if you're the Raiders. This is a pitch play out to Hintz. He does get out of bounds to stop the clock. That's not what Hankinson would want, but they do get a positive play to the 27, about 28-yard line here to make it a 2nd down and 1.
Give kudos to the play caller for Hankinson to be willing to run a play out of shotgun and then pitch the ball, doing everything. That's multiple things that have to happen and go right, and opportunities for the ball to be put on the ground. So kudos to them. They trust their guys to make a good snap and a good pitch, and everything go perfect for them.
So start at their own 18-yard line here after the Rayshawn Earl interception. Obviously, Earl is making a big play case for our Embridge Energy player of the game. Make sure you stay tuned with us on our post-game shows. We will hear from the victorious team with some interviews, take a look at the final numbers and more. Rayshawn Earl going to get stuck in the backfield here as he had T. Silling part of that blocking, and then eventually Brendan Anderson as well. That is a loss for about a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and there's a timeout by Larry Fontaine. We'll break with him. 3rd down and a long 2 upcoming, and a 3rd down that the Raiders got to get off the field next as Hankinson looking to milk this game away when we return.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits including time off available from day 1. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career, doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
High school football today here on YourLiveEvent.com. The Hankinson Pirates and the Maple River Raiders. Game that's just gone over 2 hours, and what kind of has that feeling here? If you get the first down again with now 2 timeouts already taken for Maple River, Hankinson would try to bleed the rest of this 3 minutes off the clock. At least 1 to 2 first downs almost puts this game away unless it's on back-to-back plays.
If they don't get this first down, do they have the guts to go for it and put it away?
I was kind of thinking the same thing. A final North Prairie over Nelson County, 28-16 as well here earlier today. As they will go under center I formation. Rayshawn Earl hands this one off to Hentz, and Hentz bulldozes his way past the 30 to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, their ability to go win the game here in multiple ways. You know, they went spread runs, spread pass, both horizontally and vertically, and then to turn around and just hand it off and just run the old NDSU power down kick and hammer them.
Central McLean over Beach. That is a final as well, 48-6. Alexander leads Kenmare Bowbells-Burke Central 36-34 in the fourth quarter, and South Border over Henniger County 22-8. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Play for a look at your out-of-town scoreboard. First and 10 Pirates. Again, Maple River can only stop the clock one more time here unless the ball is incomplete or it goes out of bounds. This will be Hernandez right up the middle, and Hernandez makes his way past the 42, the 41-yard line. And Hernandez will get a gain of 6 yards.
That was really nice to see by Hernandez there. He got through that first line, and he had two hands on the football, and he was just like, all right, first guy that tackles me, I'm just going to go down. I'm not going to turn it over. Nobody's going to punch this ball out, and we're going to milk this game away.
Maple River will take their final timeout. We'll break with them for one final time here in Hope on YourLiveEvent.com.
I'm P.J. Rundin. I live in Mission Court in Ada, Minnesota. Here, there are a lot of people like it here. Well, what could be better?
I'm Molly, and I have lived here a little over 3 years now. I like the fact that I don't have stairs or elevators, and there's always some activities around here.
You can't help but like it here. That's what I say.
High school football here today on YourLiveEvent.com. 42-30. Another first down would pretty much put this game away officially when you take a look at time and how much time would go off the clock in between each play. Maple River going to be having to gun for the football and try to get a fumble of some point here. If you're Hankinson, hold on to it and find yourself a date in the second round. This one coming right up the middle. There's Hernandez trying to push the pile forward. It's going to be close to the first down. The near official will come in. They needed the 44-yard line, and this might be our second spot of the game. Give Hernandez his fourth carry now for 16 yards. As they're going to bring the chain gang out on this one.
Hey, quick shout out to Jacob Schleck, though, running the sideline on your side. He came sprinting in, put it down exactly where he had the spot. There's no misinterpretation from 10, 15 yards away, exactly how you want to see it done in this moment in the game.
Here's the stretch. It'll be just shy, not by much, and it'll be a third down, and they will need about a half a foot, if that, for the first. So if you're Maple River, you got it to third, but if you're Hankinson, it's almost a Rayshawn Earl QB keeper to maybe put this game away.
Yeah, and that's all you need here is just one first down, and it's going to pretty much put the game to bed.
As the Hankinson Pirates will come out with a Maryland I formation behind Rayshawn Earl. Third down and a half yard. This one will be a fullback trap to Hentz. Hentz gets to the 50-yard line, spins his way, and the Pirates will be spinning their way to Lemoore after that 8-yard rush.
Yeah, hats off to them being able to convert their offense into that 4-minute offense where you're not looking to necessarily score, but just bleed the clock out, and they have done just that here on this last possession.
As the Maple River Raiders season will conclude with a 4-5 record, while the Hankinson Pirates will improve to 7-2. Their two losses this year against Weimar Lidgewood by 5 points last week that gave them the 3 seed to come here. Otherwise, they would have hosted Mayport CG in Hankinson, and also put them on the bracket of Lemoore Litchfield Marion as the number 1 overall seed. So Hankinson will head to Lemoore. The Lobos beat the Pirates back on September the 27th, 60-14. But the Lobos have hammered a lot of different teams here in this one as we have a delay of game against the Hankinson Pirates. They're first of the second half. They're fifth of the game for 50 yards. And Hankinson just trying to take as much time off the clock without burning a timeout. And now all of a sudden you'll take a knee or two and find your way into the postseason. Hoots, Hankinson first, Maple River second here. What impressed you most about the Pirates here this afternoon?
The adjustments their coaches made at half were just excellent. Tempo, space, a lot of reads, putting the ball in the hands of your best player and letting him go and win yourself a game. Just kudos to them. They did exactly what they needed to do in that second half.
Rayshawn Earl will come out under center, take the knee. There'll be just a little loss there on the play on the opposite side for Maple River. Third year of this co-op. I know it maybe throughout the course of the season they've had to deal with different injuries from different players. maybe never were a true 100% after that season opener, Hoots, against Sargent County. But what did you see from the Raiders here to finish the season here 4-5 and another playoff appearance here in school history?
Yeah, just continuing to move forward. They lost a pretty good crop of seniors from last year, and for them to bounce back, make the playoffs, and host a playoff game, and to give everything they could today, you could tell that they didn't leave anything on the line, and ran some new stuff and tried to see if they could beat a team that just handled them a couple weeks ago. A lot of good things though. Young guys got a lot of touches throughout the year because of those injuries, and hopefully that'll pay dividends coming up.
As taking a look at the clock here, Chris Larson takes a look at the white hat and also takes a look at Ryan Weber. Ryan says got to run one more play by the time Rayshawn took the knee. And here comes the final play of the contest. Here the Hankinson Pirates have won for the first time in the postseason since 2017 as Hankinson will make their way to Lemoore Litchfield Marion for a date with the unbeaten and #1 ranked Lemoore Litchfield Marion Lobos a week from today. Maple River finishes the year 4-5, third year in co-op history. First year they go 6-4, last year 5-4, this year at 4-5. We're back after this with our post-game show. Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. We'll hear from the victorious Pirates. That and more coming up on YourLiveEvent.com.
There's a new inventory of trailers at Bloomfield Enterprises of Hillsborough. You can see the latest inventory online at BloomfieldTrailers.com. Bloomfield Enterprises has a full line of Big Tex trailers. Big Tex has affordable and versatile utility trailers for all your jobs. Big Tex has a full line of products from ATV trailers to gooseneck to dump trailers and more. Call Larry at 218-368-7989 or Tim at 701-430-0877. Bloomfield Enterprises in Hillsborough.
We offer the greatest broadband that anyone can subscribe to. And that's because of the infrastructure that we have been able to build over the last decade. We're talking 10 gigabit per customer. That's the network we're building. There's days I think about what's the network going to be after I retire, where it continues to evolve. And if it evolves as much as what it has in the last 73 years, we can't even dream what it's going to be in the future.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need someone who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country.
As we come back here on our post-game show on YourLiveEvent.com, Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and alongside with Brady Siebels. Here, let's get to our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Go to Enbridge.com for career opportunities. Life takes energy. That, again, is Enbridge.com. And Nathan Hoots, obviously, I think Rayshawn Earl played a big key in this one. Breaks the single-season scoring touchdown record. Able to have 5 passing touchdowns. You get a receiving, a rushing touchdown as well. Now has the all-time school record in touchdowns. I just don't know if there's enough superlatives, so to speak about a junior quarterback here in Rayshawn Earl.
He's phenomenal in virtually every single aspect. He was in complete control of the game throughout. You could tell he just has a presence in the huddle when they do huddle. He has a presence when they do not huddle, letting everybody get set. Sometimes going fast is hard to keep your patience and your presence. You struggle to make your reads because you're trying to go so fast from the last time the play ended. He did a really good job of getting everybody set and then going through his reads and finding the guy that was open. And when the run was needed, he was able to get it. Made a lot of really good reads. The Raider defense did a nice job against him, but he still put up the numbers that he did.
And you take a look at this particular one, again, 375 yards, eventually 375 yards of total offense here for Hankinson, but Earl goes 11 of 14 for 207, 5 touchdowns through the air, and a rushing touchdown as well, over 100 yards rushing. On the opposite side, Maple River drew it up as best as you could, right? 51 attempts for 392 yards. You get 400 yards of total offense as well, but The difference was Hankinson made the most out of every possession in the second half, while Maple River, those 1 or 2 turnover on downs. And going back to it, Hoots, the shoestring tackle of T. Silling at the end of that first half, if they score on that one, all of a sudden a 2-score game late becomes a 1-score game, and it changes the complexion of this football contest.
Absolutely, and you know, the same thing happened down in Hankinson just a couple weeks ago. Earl threw a pass, kind of a Hail Mary at the end of the first half, tackled at the 1-yard line, so it kind of evened each other out. Each team had an opportunity to score at the end of the half. Didn't happen. You could argue that might have been the play of the game. Yep. There were a lot of plays that went Hankinson's way in the second half, but just kudos to the coaches that made those adjustments in that at halftime. They spent like 12 minutes over just talking about what they were going to do, and you could tell that they had a lot of things that they could do in the second half to swing the momentum in their way.
2,165 yards on his senior season for T. Silling. He'll finish with 33 rushing touchdowns as well. The senior class, obviously not what you want to see here. Coach Larry Fontaine talking over with the seniors right now, talking with Frank Martin and Carter Bosch and Dylan Zahn and company out there. What does this senior class, though, mean to Maple River football?
Big time. Starting with T. Silling, he did a really good job of not letting the program crumble around him. He got a lot of kids to come out and play football, especially late in their high school career with Bosch and Zahn and Martin, just getting those guys to come out in his class. He had just a presence that led that entire crew. But they were really productive. You know, you don't expect a whole lot of production from players that don't play football until they're a junior in high school, and they really did. They did well this year. It was exciting to see all of them play and have success, and they will be missed moving forward.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back after this, we'll hear from Coach Moneylaws and alongside our player of the game and Rayshawn Earl for the Pirates next on your liveevent.com.
We love our pets, accidents and messes included. Shaw Floor's Pet Perfect Carpet helps you love confidently with protection from everyday messes and odors. Designed with the whole family in mind, Pet Perfect features built-in protection from staining, fading, and pet hair. Make tails wag with Shaw Floor's Pet Perfect. Designed for you, perfect for your pet.
Available at Carpet World, 17th Avenue South, online at carpetworldfargo.com.
As we come back here on our post-game show, Nathan Hoots joined by the head football coach of the Pirates, Jason Moneylaws, as they win for the first time in the postseason since 2017.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Talk about the adjustments that you guys made at halftime. It really seemed like you dictated tempo in that second half from the very first possession. Just talk to me about what you mentioned to the guys.
Well, I pretty much told them we played like crap. I mean, we did, you know, and it goes back to the energy these kids put into playing Wyoming every year, Wyoming Lidgewood. You know, it's such an emotional game and stuff, and I'm always concerned. You know, I've been doing this for 17 years now as a head coach, and the game after that game is always, the kids are drained. You know, the focus isn't necessarily where it should be and things like that. So we talked about that over there, and we decided that we were going to go tempo, and we just felt that we needed to get some energy into the kids and get them moving and trying to get out of this kind of the stalemate that was going on out here with long drives and then us doing a kind of short to medium drive and so forth, mixing things up. So no, that was our goal, was to go tempo and put points on the board as quick as we could.
All right, what does it mean to get your first playoff win since 2017?
Well, it's a big deal. You know, we don't get in the playoffs very often, Coach, and for us, I think I was talking to Chase about this. It's almost like Christmas for us in Hankinson. You know, we don't have a co-op, so we're stuck with what we have, and I'm damn proud of that fact that we are doing this as Hankinson. And so when we get in and we can get a win, man, it's big. It's huge. It's for not just for these kids, but for our community.
Okay, moving forward, Lemoore next week. Yeah. What kind of challenges do they present to your team?
Well, if you looked at the score of our first game, you kind of know it. They're so good. They're you know, they've got a monster for a running back in Gunnar Thielges. You know, he doesn't look like he's moving, but when he makes his kind of a cut, it's like a train coming out of a tunnel. And his speed, you know, we're going to really have to work on him not getting outside. They got Lesko inside, and he reads plays so well. He's so fast. His first step, he's just kind of sitting there. Next thing you know, he's like a sprinter coming out of the blocks, and then he blows everything up. It's going to be a huge challenge, and we're definitely the underdog in this thing, and it is what it is. We're going to go over there, and we're going to try and play our game and do our best I can, and see what happens.
All right, congratulations. I'm going to move on here to Rayshawn. Thank you. Hey, Rayshawn, great game today. What does it mean you now surpassed whoever it was that had the record before you in passing touchdowns? Mason Falk. Shout out to Mason to take that that baton and in Hankinson lore.
It means a lot. He's one of our coaches, and he's always on me and helps me get better, and I wouldn't be able to do it without him.
All right, talk about what Coach went over with you at halftime. He talked about tempo. What excites you about being able to go tempo? I was really impressed with how well you got up to the line of scrimmage, but you never looked like you were in a hurry. You let your guys get set, and then you got through your reads and just played a tremendous second half.
I was impressed with it too, considering that it was our first time ever doing that, and he gave us those signals, and all the boys were just determined and knew it was going to work.
All right, what excites you the most to be able to extend this season just for at least one more week?
The challenge, we got the #1 team in the state. We got nothing to lose. We're the underdogs. So, yeah, so I'm going to tell the guys all week we got nothing to lose.
All right, I love that mentality. Congratulations and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Chase, back to you.
Thank you very much, Nathan Hoots. We'll take a quick break. When we come back after this, we'll put a bow on this one from Hope on your liveevent.com.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
High school football here today. The Hankinson Pirates again pick up the win 42-30 over the Maple River Raiders, as Maple River and alongside the Hankinson Pirates played a whale of a football game. Maple River led for most of the first half, led at half, but then that second half, kind of like a blitzkrieg there, if you will, for Hankinson, really stemmed the tide. Some other finals here today. Mohall Lansford Sherwood 14-10 over Tioga. They will make their way to 8th-ranked South Prairie Max in the second round. Cavalier with a win over 4 wins, 42-12. They will head to North Border. You had North Prairie with a 28-16 win over Nelson County. They will head to New Rockford Cheyenne. Central McLean, no trouble over Beach, 48-6. They will make their way to Grant County Flasher, and then Weimar Lidgewood with the win over Griggs Makota, 48-30. They will head to Griggs Makota, still playing South Border, Hedriger County, and Kenmare Bullbells, Burke Central, and Alexander. Final thoughts here, Nathan Hoots, as we cap the Maple River season, and again the Hankinson Pirates moving on to Lemoore. But one more time here for the co-op for Maple River, third year. Again, it wasn't 100% healthy for the team all season. They had a multitude of guys that nicked up throughout the year, but a team that found a way to make the playoffs. What's the one final thing you want to kind of put a bow on their season here in 2024?
I think if there's going to be a memory from the season, it's the finish to that Mayville game that they had, where it was just a roller coaster of a game, roller coaster of emotions for not just the players and the coaches, but the announcers. Just the emotions that went into that game and the excitement that they knew that they were one game away from hosting a playoff game. That's probably the memory that's going to stick out the most to me as a guy that got to see most of their games this year. But just the perseverance to go from a devastating loss in that first game of the season to bounce back, and then to have that, I don't even know if it was a good game where you score 82 points down in Fairmont, but you're giving up 50-some. There was a lot of really good things, and they played a lot of close games. Just a lot of real positive things to move forward with the program.
On the opposite side, quick preview here, Hankinson, Lemoore. Obviously, Lemoore has done this to everybody throughout the course of the years here. They get up early and they don't stop. They put the pedal to the metal. So second time around can always be a little more challenging here, and especially if Hankinson can run that quick offense, that might be a different a way of Lemoore having to go about it. But give us a quick preview on your thoughts of the Pirates, Rayshon Earl, Andrew Jean, Falk and company going up against the Lescos, the Gunnar Thielgis and company here for Coach Delabar and the Lobos.
I tell you what, Hankinson has good athletes. They have good size. They got an absolute stud at quarterback that's running the show. It's going to be interesting to see. This week you could tell. You made the reference to the tortoise and the hare. They were very clearly the hare. Are they going to transform into the tortoise next week and try to slow things down, try to take the ball to start the game and try to score and do the same thing that Maple River did today and try to play from ahead? Or are they going to be willing to, okay, you know what, we might have some quick 3 and outs and we're going to put our defense in tough spots, but we're going to try to be explosive, try to make big plays. I think all the little tricks that they got up their sleeve, everything is going to be coming out this week, and it might be a fun one to watch.
Hoots, thanks so much for your time all season. Looking forward to seeing you next week for some more volleyball out at the Raider Activity Center.
All right, thanks, Chase, for a great season.
That again, Nathan Hoots. I'm Chase Miller on behalf of Brady Siebels, repeating tonight's final here from Hope. Hankinson with the win, 42-20, first win in the postseason since 2017. They're 7-2, go to number 1 and unbeaten the Lemoore Litchfield Marion Lobos next week on Saturday. Maple River finishes the year at 4-5. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and make sure you patronize those sponsors for allowing us to bring you North Dakota High School playoff football here today from Hope, North Dakota.